Welcome to the African Podcast, your go-to destination for infotainment, trending updates, and thought-provoking social commentary. Be sure to subscribe to our channel, hit that thumbs up button, and get ready to join the conversation.
All right. Welcome, everybody. How are you all doing? Happy weekend, my people. All right. I want to believe you are all catching cruise wherever you are, and you are taking your time to enjoy in the glory of the Lord. I'm trying to be gentle. I'm trying to be calm. I don't want to do any bass bush, because if I should tell you guys what I have seen today and experienced, and when I go say, Uncle Ben, which one be your own? Today has been a stressful day, all right? Oh God, oh, make I no laugh first. Make I no laugh. I honestly don't know what happened today, but my sweet sister, Adana, it's not Dr. Adama, Adana. Adana choose violence today of all day. So my sister, sweet Adana, shared something in the backstage, and me and my fellow brothers, we are trying to make sense of it all day long. But that is not the story. That is not the main kasala. What's perhaps shocking to me is, it be like say today, all my sisters in the roof farm, they had a meeting and they decided they no go gree for anybody today. And it was like we were just going back and forth. Ah, my God. I can laugh. Oh, Sister Yinka, and Cynthia, then Sister Marriott. All the sisters, they are just like, today, we no go agree for these brothers. But I'm not going to make this show about it, because if I show you guys what we were arguing about, we won't get to Natasha today. Bro, Samolu, how you doing now, my brother? Welcome to the show, Baba.
Did you just start? Oh, hold on.
Baba, Alpha.
I'm fine. I just joined the studio. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, Natasha is story. I didn't watch. I watched part of the interview.
Okay, we want to review Natasha today. So I'm just saying that if I should start with what we were dragging in the backstage, we won't get to Natasha. But I just know why. All my sisters today, they no just won't agree. Egbon, what do you think say they happen? Why sisters no one agree today?
No, if we start it now, it could be like a gender war. Make we don't start with, we can't win these women now, so we have to just try our best.
Just accept. Maybe just accept. We talk our mind. We speak our mind. Abi.
Exactly. Because the way it is now, women know they allow men to beat and drop cup for internet. Any small thing, they drag men. Men want to make their contribution, they will just be dragging us.
Abi, but I love my sisters anyway. My sisters, they know they do dragging. The only thing be say, then go drop their own opinion. And if you want argue, go they argue with your keypad. They will still stay there. That's what I love about them the most. And I enjoy the fact that no insult, no argument or things. We were just trying to make it make sense. And that topic get us to be anyway. But trust me, I go still find one day where I go bring that same topic back. Maybe the day where I don't chop belle full. Oh man. Anyway, we're gonna start today's show, and let me give you guys the appetizer. See, say, wow, drag you. We didn't even. Sister Yinka, we all agree to disagree. Absolutely. That's why I love you all. Me, I did learn. Because most time my coconut head no they let me see what everybody they see. And me, I go like to still drop my own opinion anyway. But I will leave that topic for another day. Okay. I will leave it for another day. We're gonna review Natasha interview today. I'm glad that Natasha grant that interview with Adeola Fayehun. And before we do that, I would like to even start by first of all appreciating my beautiful, ever powerful, the one and only journalist that I know. We know they do like Nigerian journalists, Adeola Fayehun. I think I have to start by giving her flowers. But first, let me bring the appetizer for today's show while we're waiting for everybody to come in. I know the Champions League is going right now. All right, and people are watching, but we have to start this review as fast as we can. So let me start with the appetizer first. Simbi, what's up? How you doing, Simbi? My baby girl, where you day? How far?
Good evening, boss. I'm doing great. Happy weekend. Hi, Rofam. Happy weekend, everybody.
Yeah. Why are you not watching Champions League, Simbi? You are supposed to be beside your man watching Champions League. Come on. Why you not they watch?
To bed, then go pay me. I beg, I no watch.
Not be to pay you. At least you go there beside your man. You go there boost his ego. This is what we are talking about. Eh? If you be on your boat guy now, you go there beside your man and say, hey, oh, Messi's card. That's good. But I lie.
Uncle Ben, did you give me any man? You didn't give me any man now.
Simbi, may we not go there. I know your man. I know just want to bring your business come outside. Since when that guy don't enter your life, now you don't dey fresh, when you don't dey glow, may we not go there at all. I be you think I know they do my background check. See this girl. Anyway, let me start with today's appetizer. May we just start with this one before we go to Natasha real quick. Give me just 1 minute. I'll be back. All right. Let me show you this video real quick. My lovely sister Ketenshaw have started again. Listen to this argument.
Man and woman. I created the man first, no doubt. Yes. But he took the woman. I always say this thing. Yes. Even pastors and churches, they are at fault on this thing. He brought the woman from the side, not from the. Hold on, let me finish. Not from the top to head over the man, not from under his feet to be beneath his feet, but beside, to reign beside him, to be fruitful, multiply, and bring children, and bring up children, and grow together. But Nigerian men, and you people have learned the hard way, when you leave these shores and go somewhere else, they show you people pepper.
When they get half.
Here, you people see women less than human. You see us as this wood to be treated. Really? Even our laws, even our violence against person prohibition laws favors the man.
Everything favors the woman now.
No, look at where?
Go to police
station. A man is reasonably allowed to chastise his wife.
Go to any police station today. I have to fight
a man.
Go to police
one at a time. 1 second. A man who marries a foreigner can get a passport for her, but a woman who marries a foreigner will go through loops before she can get the same passport for her husband who is a foreigner in the same Nigeria. So what are we talking about?
Yes, we have to be sure we
just look at it. No, just look at that.
We have to be sure we are bringing in. If you bring terrorists.
Okay, what about you? I'll go and bring someone that
let me ask you, Edgar. When it comes to women and submission, as your favorite phrase is. Women are what? When you talk about women being submissive. Yes. Why do men push their partners to the limit and expect silence and submission in return? Why do what? Why do men? Because you men, you push your partners to the limit and yet you expect the woman to be submissive. Because most women go into relationships with certain expectations will not get sense. Is that too much to ask?
What expectations?
The certain expectations.
What like for instance?
Okay, for example, now you see a man, you marry Two-Face. you open your eye and marry Two-Face.
Two-Face don't collect.
We're not talking about Reverend Matthew as a cookout. You went to marry Two-Face. You come say Two-Face is cheating on you 2 years after. Are you getting me now? Who has the problem? Is it Two-Face or is it you?
But maybe Two-Face is a bit of an extreme example. Just use normal.
You normal
I
man.
plead the Fifth Amendment.
But that's how. No, but that's how most relationships are. So women, see them just obey. You're not helping yourself. You're not even helping the younger girls.
So in other words, any woman that sees you now will be mad to think that she can marry you.
Exactly.
No. Listen to me carefully. That's what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that if I marry Sister Kate now,
you will not marry me.
No, if I marry Sister Kate now,
not.
hopefully.
One day.
Hopefully one day I marry Sister Kate now. Okay. You see, what I'm saying is that men know how to adjust.
You will not marry me.
So if I marry this Sister Kate now, you get me now? There's some things I would look away from. There's some things I would say, okay, I don't like it, but I love her.
Like
work
what?
on it. I don't know. There's some things like these are gyms, she's up and down. I don't like it.
My
Gyms,
gym.
there's up and down. I don't like it.
Oh, you don't?
I don't like it.
Why don't you like it?
Because to make her lean, you lose all the things that make her. I used to know her before when she was like,
I cannot say words to you here or there, but we'll deal with
She was
ourselves
like an
after.
Akwa woman, but now I don't know. She's looking like Macron's wife, so I don't like it.
He's looking like Macron wife.
She's looking like Macron's wife. I don't like it. But
Oh my God, let me just stop it right there. All right. You might be wondering why do I start with this particular appetizer for today's show. It's because what they are discussing relates to what is happening generally in Nigeria and is happening to Senator Natasha. Is the same thing, the patriarchy thing that sisters always warned us about as Nigerian men. And even though this clip is very short, but there is a lot to unpack from the clip. So one of the things that were said there is Kate said Nigerian men this, Nigerian men that. And I always wanted to ask, why is it that you people always circle back to Nigerian men in all circumstances? I don't get it. Why is it always Nigerian men? Una know they use another country men to do all these negative examples. It's always Nigerian men. Why? Anybody want to tell me why? Come on. It's always Nigerian men. Everything, any bad example, they call us Nigerian men. And still, women all over the world, they are rushing us. One kowaje. They rush us. Women want us. They decide us.
It's not like Nigerian men are not good.
Okay.
You guys are awesome. That's the truth.
Thank
thing
you.
Is, like I said in one of our shows the last time, there's always a difference between the way Nigerian men actually treat Nigerian women. There's always a difference. The way they treat us is different from the way they treat foreigners. I'm not talking about race now. There's this need to impress the foreigners. That time sometimes they don't even remember some certain rules. They just want to please her, make her happy, spend on her, quality time, vacation and stuff. There's this need to impress that woman and make her happy. That's why they're always saying nice things about you guys. That doesn't mean that
why are they always calling Nigerian men when they want to give an example of people who don't treat women right? We have over 120 million. Yeah, we have over 120 million Nigerian men. And the percentage of those who are treating women bad, they're not even up to 20%. Why is it always Nigerian men?
Uncle Ben, you did your analysis and you came to this conclusion.
Yes, that's my conclusion now. It's only about 20% that are doing all these niggas now. The other 80%, even though I don't even know where I'm pulling this data from, but the rest of us, at least we are still manageable. Let me just look at some.
Okay,
all right. Sister Natu says, talking about Macron's wife, why is no one talking about it? Sister Natu, I don't understand though. The way that woman slapped that president face and toy. I wonder what she's doing when the camera is not there. But maybe we not go there because that's a conversation for another day. I can only imagine, and I'm sorry. I don't want to offend anybody. The behavior of that Macron wife is one of the reasons why we are advising young men to go and marry women of their age. Or if they have to marry a woman that is older than them, let the gap not be beyond maybe 5-6 6 years. That woman, make her no go there. But it is what it is, Sister Natu. It is what it is. Sister Yinka say, it's because you are the most famous of the African men. Oh, that is why they are always using Nigerian men as typical example. Sister Yinka, I wanted to disagree a little bit too. Is because
no, Uncle Ben, I think generally our men have bad reputation in diaspora, so they just kind of exaggerate on the whole thing.
No, we don't have bad reputation in diaspora. What happening is that our women are the one who are bringing our problem to the public. They are the one who run to Facebook and social media and start painting the picture of a terrible man. I agree, we have a lot of nonsensical men who don't even know how to be a married man in the first place. Some of them are not even grown. But our women have now copied, like I was saying which day, that everything is, we want to copy the West. Our women are now the one who run to social media all the time and say, hey, Siamo, I bring him to abroad, he treat me this way, without giving the people the rest of the story. That is why they always say Nigeria. Okay, Simbi, tell me this. Why is it that many Western women now, they are searching, they are looking for, they want Nigerian men by all means? Why do you think that is the case? Answer me.
I'm going to be honest. Nigerian men are very caring. That's
okay. Now we are talking.
That's the fact. Uncle Ben, relax. Don't raise your shoulder. Just relax.
You see, not to do my shoulder. No, not to do my shoulder. Go on, baby. Go on.
They are kind. They are sensitive. But you see that ego and that misogynistic behavior is still inside them. They only bury it when they meet foreign women.
You say them. You will say it's inside the few ones who don't want to change. Don't say them.
How many percent? When we're talking few, how many percent? We say few, we're talking like 20%. We're talking like 20%. So
don't say them. Adana said no.
Are you saying I'm generalizing? I'm not generalizing now.
Okay, no wahala. Let's move
saying,
on.
But Uncle Ben, you know what I'm saying is the truth. Because when men from Nigeria, when they go to diaspora, there's this change in their mentality, the way they think and the way they actually behave. There's always that change. That's why you see women, we Nigerian women now, we know that when we go outside, we are, how am I going to put it?
You can't put it anyway because you know you are pounding now.
I mean, Uncle Ben, relax. Over there, women are always right. Let me put it that way. The society favors women over there in diaspora. We're always right.
Okay.
And it's like kind of own that thing. But in Nigeria here, if a man hits you, for example, they will ask you, Madam, what did you do or what did you say? So my even just go further and say, okay, maybe now your razor blade mouth now make your husband don't slap you. So because you know the year word.
Okay, no wahala. Let's move on. Let's move on. Then, I don't want to drag this one with you. May we move. I don't want to drag you at all.
We're just having a conversation like two civilized adults.
All the conversation where we have today, all the sisters, I really don't. I have to figure out what really happened today. Sister Yinka was on fire today. Sister Yinka was analyzing everything we discussed. If you get one post where we discuss, Sister Yinka, they bring the point come out. She was itemizing and underlining everything. I'm like, Sister Yinka, of all people, how did she have time today to follow us do this back and forth? So all the sisters today, I really don't know what happened, but I not go follow and do the thing what I want to do today. Make I did my corner, JJ. Let's just move on. And Adana and I start the wala today. I don't even know. Adana, I think I have to chat you up after today's show. You need to tell me what happened today. You are the one that created the gas boss. Okay. Adana said, not all Nigerian men are bad, but 60% of them are Ekwesu.
You see, I told you that your analysis were wrong, but you wanted to argue with me. See?
Simbi, where
See,
did
I'm
be
just trying
Ekwesu?
to be nice.
Where did be
Ekwesu
Ekwesu
na
first?
devil now. Devil.
Away, Mr. Dayo, Egba me, Uncle Dayo. Uncle Dayo, you know they wash mash?
Nigerian men are always humble when they are outside Nigeria. So now
I'm ready
come
for
out,
this
now go
this
to
now.
form this thing. Man, no talk again, I
Simbi,
beg.
Simbi, wait, hold on. Simbi, number one, Sister Adama post. I don't agree with it. That's number one, because if 60% Nigerian men are Ekwensu, as she said, I'm very, very sure 80% of Nigerian women are much more Ekwensu than us. That one's confirmed.
Uncle Dayo, no, yes. Go there. Maybe we go there.
Mr. Dyer, don't go there. No, when it comes to tolerance, Nigerian women are at the top.
Simbi, make Uncle Dayo finish. But Uncle Dayo, Uncle Dayo, these sisters, they're the best today.
Uncle Beno, wait now. Yes, they are shading us. If they shade us now, and we know that what they're saying is not right, we can push back, can't we? How can you say 60% Nigerian men are Ekwensu? Simply because Nigerian men don't want to be pushed around like an entity. Yes, we get coconut head, no doubt, but the percentage was too high. If you said 30%, 20%, I can agree with that. But 60, over half of us, abba. And you are still craving to marry us. What are we talking about here? Now, back to the matter. Simbi, over there in diaspora, Nigerian men are sought after not because they are caring. It is because they are the best husband material that you can find. When I'm talking about that, I'm not talking about the degenerates among Nigerian men. I'm talking about the correct men that we know we are in large numbers. Though we may not be in majority, but we are in large numbers.
Yeah.
Are you getting me? Nigerian men are the best husband you can find out there. If you happen to get the correct one, you find
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you must know that, not about any other sentiment about, if you are going to use the judgment of few that are not doing right to judge the whole lot that are okay, because traditionally we were brought up to take care of our women, care for them, support them, and be everything to them.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
We are good and caring. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dyer. All right. Based on my timer right now, it's 23 minutes. I want to start Natasha when it's exactly 25 minutes. So let's just go through this comment real quick and get the show going. Hey, Linda Mesha, how you doing, my sister? You're welcome. Please hit the like, help us hit the like. All right, Sister Yinka said the good ones don't like to talk, and when women come out to speak good of their Nigerian men, folks say they are making it up, so they keep quiet, which makes the bad men take up space in media. I agree with this statement 100%, Sister Yinka. But please, Nigerian women, African women, please speak up. Let people know that we are good. Don't allow the few sisters that had bad experiences dominate the conversation. It makes us all look terrible and bad. Okay? So thank you, Sister Yinka. I 100% agree with that. Karen, how you doing? What's up? Karen, princess. So Zamolu said Nigerian men are still the best. You ladies should go and date other Black Africans and know what's up. Yeah. I've heard South African ladies, they don't speak well of their men. Kenya ladies, they drag their men too. And that tells me that Nigerian men, we are really doing great. I've not heard much about Uganda men. You know, Ugandans, they usually keep their business on the low. Now, only few of them are bold enough to talk and speak about their men. But Ghanaians, Kenyans, Ethiopia, woo-hoo, South Africans, Mozambique women, they are always dragging their men on social media and they are always hailing Nigerian men. They all said they want Nigerian men. So I think we Nigerian men, we are the Muzungu to African women. If I can borrow that terminology from my beautiful Uganda. I'm learning from Sisi and Misty, Muzungu. Misogynistic. Don't mind Simbi, bro Samolu, Simbi na troublemaker. Sisi say, we follow you bumper to bumper. Yes, Sisi, today conversation, I'm just like, what is going on? What is going on? If not before, at least una go let us, express ourselves and get away with it. But today, una just dey ready. Anyone, anyhow we try to explain it. Una no go just give, una just say no. Make una interpret.
That is a gentleman. Doesn't argue now.
No, we know. We were just trying to explain our side though, but my sister no agree today, and they were just like breaking it down. I try everything. I wanted to try coconut head. Since now that time, Sister Mario show up. Sister Mario don't begin to say, uncle, you they drag yourself, go where you no one go. So I quickly reverse. I'm like, no, it be like today go hot. All right. We're going to talk about Natasha. Shout out to you, Sister Rose. How are you doing, mommy? Adana, Sister Adana. Okay, we're going to talk about Natasha. Let's get this conversation started.
Welcome to Trends Reality, your go-to channel for trending social political updates. Subscribe, like, and leave your thoughts in the comments.
All right. So we want to talk about Senator Natasha interview yesterday. There is a lot to unpack from that interview. But first of all, ladies and gentlemen, please do me a favor. Help me give our sister Adeola Fayeun her flowers. Adeola really deserve her flowers. And I'm not saying that because I'm a fellow YouTuber. I'm saying that because I recognize her talent. If you have been watching Adeola Fayeun, you will agree that Adeola is not just a YouTuber who is just out here creating content and going after the YouTube change. Adeola brought her professionalism into her content. She is a journalist, and I think Adeola has been practicing journalism now. I know her over 10 years, but I don't know when she started practicing. But one thing you can't deny when it comes to Adeola do more of investigative journalism when issues concerning Africans are on the debate. And Adeola, we actually took her time, do her research, and present facts. Now, if Adeola is going to give her opinion, she is always balanced. And as far as this case with Senator Natasha is concerned, I think just like every great Black women out there, Adeola saw through what is really happening to Senator Natasha, and she opened up her platform to help us get to the roots of the problem. On this social media space, everybody have opinion. Opinions are always flying here and there. I've seen people criticize Natasha, and I've seen a lot of people supported Natasha. I've seen people who supported Apabio, and I've seen a lot of people also criticize Apabio. Me, for once, I do not support Apabio. My not supporting Apabio is not me saying, yes, he committed this offense. The reason I'm not supporting Apabio is because I expected Apabio to do the humanly reasonable thing every man should have done if they are accused of sexual harassment. Prove your innocence. Encourage investigation. Submit yourself to whatever panels or committees that are set up to look into the matter. But so far, so good. I haven't seen the Senate president moving in a way that shows that he truly grabs the magnitude of the allegation levied against him. More importantly, as the number 3 person in Nigeria. So that is why I am not supporting him. Now, my not supporting him doesn't also mean that I am supporting Senator Natasha. I've made my point clear over and over again. I am not supporting Senator Natasha because she's a senator. I am not supporting Senator Natasha because she's a woman. I am supporting Senator Natasha because SA is a big deal in a place like Nigeria and in Africa. Women go through a lot. Many women are harassed at the workplace, at the church, even in their own home. A lot of women have one story of sexual harassment or the other to tell. And the earlier we start punishing people who commit this crime, the better it is for everybody. So what can be termed like my support for Senator Natasha is just coming from a place of being a girl's dad. I have daughters, and I don't want my daughter to be treated in a way that objectify them or that belittle them. I don't want my daughter to be a senator tomorrow and then she's going to be denied her privileges just because she wouldn't sleep with one pot-belly man. And that is more the reason why I am interested in us getting to the roots of this matter. I am not interested in saying, oh, let's fight for women. Let's fight for Natasha. No, I am interested in let's prove this case. Such a way that if Apabio is found wanting, let him experience the full wrath of the law so that he can serve as a deterrent to other men who are engaged in this nonsensical behavior. On the flip side, if it comes out that Senator Natasha actually lied, I want her also to experience the wrath of the law. I want her also to be punished so that she also can serve as a good example to other women out there who derive joy in lying against men. Because whether you want to agree with me or not, from what I've seen in this my small years that I've lived in this world, there are some cases that when they brought those cases against you, the only person that can vindicate you is God and the court with evidence. One of those cases is a case of rape, DV, and SA. DV is still okay. If you DV somebody, there's going to be evidence, there will be proof. People might see it. But in the case of SA, sometimes it's difficult to prove. It always boils down to her words against yours. So as we dive into this conversation, I want us to bear that in mind, that we are not doing this show because we want to support Natasha or we want to support Apabio. We are not doing this show because we want to exonerate Apabio or exonerate Natasha. Rather, we wanted to look at what really happened and what might be the outcome of this case. So, shout out to my sister Adeola. Please, let me see your flowers in the chat. Let me drop a rose flower for Adeola for this amazing interview. Remember, Senator Natasha has been gagged. A judge actually gave an order that none of them should speak about this case. And a lot has been happening on the ground. And if you remember the last case, the last show we did on Natasha, I said After the judge has gagged Natasha that she couldn't speak, that is when, out of the blues, Professor Mbeke came out. Out of the blues. Professor Mbeke came out and started saying all kinds of things about Senator Natasha. And if not because there is a God that I have now called the God of Natasha, if God has not exposed Professor Mbeke with that screenshot that shows that this lady is in communication with Natasha's enemy, a lot of people would have bought her story hook, line, and sinker. So now, Deola went into business. Deola brought the first witness, somebody who had worked with Professor Mbeke, a lady, I think her name is Frances. You all saw the interview. The lady came out and said, hey, Duru is cooking up something. This Mbeke is a woman you really don't know how she operates. She wanted her to clone Natasha's voice and do all that. And just when we were trying to say, could this be true? Could this be a lie? Boom. Deola brought the second witness, the man in Aba, Nigeria, who actually made the tape, the videos that Professor Mbeke paid him to make. And as the man saw what was being done, I guess his conscience speaks to him. And I guess he says that if this should go sideways, he might end up in jail. So he came out on Deola's show and he opened a can of war on Duru, that is Professor Mbeke, as well as every other people who are involved in this saga. The next we see, Deola brought a white man who happens to know Professor Mbeke very well. And the man told us a lot of things about her that actually gave us a picture of who she truly is in real life. And you know, so Oyinbo know the quick lie. And when you get issue with Oyinbo, when Oyinbo won't follow you, they don't let go. They are just like Justin Dean. Once they have issue with you, now only God now go rescue you for their hand. So the man came out and gave us true picture of what Sandra Duru is into. And what next? Boom! We now have a case of the Nigerian federal government versus Senator Natasha. And then we started asking again, how did this move from sexual harassment allegation to suspension of the senator to BBC, international media, to trying to buy Natasha, to Apabio saying he doesn't want a judge to be in charge of the case, and out of the blues, it is now federal government of Nigeria versus Natasha. What is going on exactly? And just when I thought we can't hear anything more from this case, guess what happened? Senator Natasha reached out to Deola Fayewu and she said, Deola, I am willing to come to your show and tell my side of the story. So we've watched the live show. Sisi was there. I saw a couple of our real fam there. So now let us begin our own analysis of the matter. Now, Deola did a fantastic job. All the questions that people want to ask, Deola asked all the questions. In fact, I'm just like, Deola, and you are asking this question without stress. You know, even you do. So, but in a nutshell, for those who missed the interview, let me break it down the way you can understand it. So, Deola segmentized the interview into three major areas. The first one was what actually happened in the Senate, which we are all aware of now. So Senator Natasha explained everything. And then Deola asked her, is there truly a sexual harassment situation between her and Senator Apabio? And she explained. She said, well, Usually when you work with men and they perceive you that you're a beautiful lady, men will make comments, So what transpired between she and Apabio has always been like, hey, Natasha, you look good today. Oh, this your ways. How you did now? Your husband they enjoy you, blah blah. And Natasha says sometimes she will reply and say, well, I beg leave me. Whenever he's making the advantage, she will say, I beg leave me, Jerry. You and your pot belly. Don't you see my husband, 6-pack, tall, and like that? She said they will joke about it. But then it got to a point where allegedly the number 3 stopped taking no for an answer. If you remember when this case started and Senator Mboyi, that's how I like to call it. How my sister Latu they call her. Okay, Sister Latu always call him Unwa boy. Senator Nwamboyi went to the TV station and dragged Natasha and say all kind of things to the point that he claimed he is always with the Senate president, that there is no way anything transpired between both of them. And I was like, Nwamboyi, are you normal? Can you tell where something is going to happen between a man and a woman? Anyway, so Deola started with that, and then Senator Natasha cleared the air and said, really, yes, there is sexual harassment. Then Deola asked her another good question. Deola asked, your evidence. Everybody will be asking, where is this evidence? Where is this evidence? Show us the evidence. And then Senator Natasha said, what I think we have said on this platform severally, that it is not, you don't show your evidence on social media. When you have case like this that is in court, the court is where you present your evidence. So Natasha replied and said, yes, I have evidences and I will show the evidence at the appropriate place and time. So that brought us to the end of the first segment. So the second segment, which is also a very good one, is where I want to start with. Natasha asked Senator Natasha about Reno Omonkri. Did anybody heard about that? I've seen some men and some Nigeria who said, hey, yes, this woman accused Reno Omonkri of sexual harassment. Reno Omonkri won the case. Reno Omonkri do this.
Yes.
Reno Omonkri do that.
Yes, we heard about that case. We did.
You heard that one, right? Good. So
yes,
when Deola asked that question, I'm like, oh, Deola, God bless you, my sister. I want to hear from Natasha how she intends to defend that. And then Natasha went ahead and described what happened between her and Reno Omonkri. So that is where I'm starting today's show from. Let's take a listen.
Accusing several people of sexual harassment, and then we will come to, was there sexual harassment? Did it actually happen? That's one of the things that a lot of people have been asking about, as well as what's about your evidence? When will you make it public? Things like that. So let me start out by playing the video of Senator Nwamboyi.
Nwamboyi? Where's my sister?
This is a complete falsehood. This is an attempt to discredit the Senate president. And this is not the first time. Just give me some time. This is not the first time this woman is doing this. This is a woman that have accused Ayabelo of sexual harassment. This is the same woman that have accused the. I'm coming. Allow me to flow. Allow me to flow. Okay. This is the same woman that accused Reno Omonkri, the former media aide to Jonathan, of sexual harassment. This is a woman I saw in a video yesterday accusing a minister of sexual harassment. Are you the only woman in Nigeria, Senator Natasha? Right. What is wrong with you?
Ooh, your mic.
But Senator
Okay, do you want to talk about that?
Thank you so much, Adiola, for this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Book on dollar.com to get our lowest rates. Why are you in my house?
As an owner of Walton Goggins,
boy. They're not going to let us enjoy this thing with advert too.
Much for this. I would say this categorically. I have never accused any other person of sexual harassment apart from Senator Apabio. I never accused Yahaya Bello of sexual harassment. And I never accused Reno Omonkri of sexual harassment. I don't know if you have that screenshot of the text message that I sent.
Okay.
That was the text message that started the whole thing. And I think this is, if Nigerians can go back to the post, it was like, this is my response to one of his posts on Facebook in the year 2019 or 2020. And I said, hey, it was a conversation whereby he was attacking one of my wards, a girl who felt really bad. And then she was being dragged. So I went there and I made this statement, like, I understand how boring and bitter life must be for you away in the US on asylum. No more access to your numerous iPhone 2 girlfriends, most of whom you got into show P through your office as an SA to the president, to President Goodluck Jonathan. Weren't you married then? I rejected your silly advances in 2014 at the Villa's Banquet Hall during President Uhuru Kenyatta's reciprocated visit. I gave you a fake name and a fake phone number, but so it just pretty much ended after that. So if anyone can actually go to the post, you'll be able to extract the full one. I will appreciate it. So here it is. That is the only time. I mean, that does not amount to sexual harassment. What I said is, we were at an event and he walked to me, being friendly, asked for my number, asked for my name. I gave him a fake name, a fake number. So we never got in touch because it was fake name and fake number. So the bone of contention at that point was that he said he wasn't in the country, that it wasn't him I saw. There must have been somebody else. But I insisted that no, I saw you, and that was what transpired. And then that's how the whole thing ended. He put up pictures of his passport with a stamp, and he also presented a ticket which proves that he wasn't in the country at that time. But I was like, you know what? We know how people get the stamps. Sometimes people like, you know what? I'm not trying to implicate the immigration, but it's what they call the Luole passport and all of this stuff. So I was like, I can sit here and get my travel agent to generate 5 tickets to different countries, and that doesn't mean I really travel. So it was more like, was he the one I saw at the villa? Wasn't he the one I saw at the villa? Did he travel? Was he in the country? It was never sexual harassment. I never accused Reno Mokri of sexual harassment ever. So I was actually surprised when an incident that happened years back, where it was not reported as sexual harassment, suddenly became a sexual harassment matter, like him adding the voice to it. I'm surprised. And on the minister where he said, I remember it was on the floor, one Senator Fashuisi from Ekiti State, Senator Cyril made a statement that, I actually accused his former governor, His Excellency Fayemi, of sexual harassment. I never did, and I'm so glad that he actually came up to clear the air that I never accused him. So I didn't accuse Yaya Bello. We never had any relationship whatsoever that was in that line. It was more political, him antagonizing my election in 2019 and then 2023. So the Senate President Godswill Apabio is the first Nigerian man that I'm actually coming up to speak against sexual harassment. But that does not mean, let me say this, that does not mean that I've not been sexually harassed by others in the past, right, from my university days, because sexual harassment happens so rampantly to many Nigerian women. I can bet you if Nigerian women are to do Me Too, we will probably see a ratio of about 80% of Nigerian women, and people don't really understand what sexual harassment is. They think that it's like rape. Do you understand? It could happen like wrong gestures. It could be denial of rights or dues just because the woman has not given in. There are people who make passes at me, and I just joke about, like, please excuse me, I'm married, and have you seen my husband? Flat tummy, dark, handsome, please, you can't match him, and it ends there. So there are times when you just make a joke, Natasha, but you're fine, I want to say, excuse me, please, so look at your pot belly, where would you put this body? We just joke about it and it ends there. Do you understand? But when a person makes advances at you and he doesn't take no for an answer, probably because he feels it massages the ego or whatever, and then it now begins to inhibit into your work or turns to malice, that now becomes harassment when the person doesn't take your no for an answer. So that's what it is. And of course, like I said, I've subjected myself. Indeed, I saw statements on the news about the presidential panel being set up. Yes, I was contacted, I think it's the first week of April or so.
Reno said you paid him. Did you pay Reno?
I didn't pay him. I didn't pay him nothing. I don't know what he's talking about. He should bring proof. I didn't pay Reno nothing. He said my husband paid him. That was what he said. And I asked my husband said, no, he never did. So he should bring proof of that. You can't just come and say, I accuse you. Yes, I think as a matter of fact, I should maybe, if this continues, and I will have to take action whereby he would then have to present proof of where I accuse him of sexual harassment and where such payments were made, because you can't just wake up one morning and begin to attack, lie against me just because you want to favor the party in power, which I respect his views. The fact that he has shifted from antagonizing the president to being one of the great supporters, that's fine. That's the beauty of politics, I think. We're all at liberty to make our choices. But I think it's really wrong when you want to please someone, then you go overboard just to attack me or manipulate whatever happened. And on the like I said, on the...
If you're 45 years or older and live in the United States and still don't have life insurance,
there was a presidential committee panel set up. I was approached, that was early April or so, and asked if I'll be willing to submit myself to the panel to investigate. I was like, of course. They made me understand that it's going to be a panel made up of APC members, and I was like, of course, as long as it will be objective and fair. The fact that I'm PDP in the opposition doesn't really matter. All that matters for me is that I'll be given a chance to tender my evidences and my complaints. And they said, okay. So I was told to recommend somebody, which I did. But later on, I was told that the Senate president pulled out of it, and that's fine. But one more thing, again, that I've seen people questioned: why did I just speak up? Why didn't I speak up? Something that happened over a month, a year ago. Let me tell you this: speaking up on sexual harassment is one of the most difficult things anyone can do. And many women actually go to their graves with that. Many men live with their wives without knowing that their wives are being sexually harassed at workplaces, or because they're scared of being judged. And right now we keep seeing a lot of men complain that the DNAs go wrong, that the children their wives birthed are not theirs. But the men should sit back and wonder, why do they think some of these things go wrong? They sleep with their wives go to the office, and for any promotion, her boss sleeps with her. So along this line, babies will be born who do not belong to their husbands, because the woman is not given a fair chance to speak of whatever disadvantages she's faced. And somehow sexual harassment has become a norm in Nigeria. It's almost like, do you know, there were actually women that approached me and said, Natasha, you are slacking. The number 3 citizen was making pass at you and you didn't take advantage of that.
All right.
So, but then the question is, the thing there is, I didn't speak up because I want any monetary remuneration or I want some reward. There's pretty much nothing the Senate president would do for me that God has not blessed me with. I thank God I am already a self-made woman, and then my husband is comfortable enough to take care of my needs. Mind you, I told you that the Senate president and my husband were friends, and my husband really played a pivotal role in supporting him to become a senator in the first place and even become a Senate president. It's no hidden news. So,
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sharing the link once again. Let us quickly address the first part of this interview before we move further. Shout out to you, my honey babe. You're welcome. All right. Sissy said, I'm glad she explained sexual harassment. A lot of people don't get it. Absolutely. Especially in my country where I come from, people don't know what sexual harassment truly means. I've seen grown men, all these men that speak grammar a lot, discussing this issue and saying, oh, what does she mean? What does she mean sexual harassment? And when you listen to them for a while, you get to understand that they actually thought until a man is on top of a woman, that is when the man had committed sexual harassment. So the link is up there. Let us dive into the Reno segment first of all. Simbi, are you here? It's time to talk, mama. Now, you heard her there. She explained her involvement with Reno Omokri. So I'm just going to restate what I heard and let me know if we are if we heard the same thing. So she said she and Reno met at an event, and Reno was making no, is it an event? No. She said it all started when Reno was harassing her friend, and she went on social media and replied to one post from Reno Omokri. You know, Reno is always on social media blabbing every day. I don't know that. What's that man's problem? So she responded the way a typical woman will respond when they are doing sisterhood. You know, women supporting women is a big deal. So it was when she was replying to Reno and trying to cast Reno that Reno should let her friend go, that she also included that is how you met me at an event and you were asking for my number. I guess she was trying to establish that it has somehow allegedly become a pattern for Reno Omokri to try to toast or woo any woman at any given opportunity. So, and she said there is no way she settled Reno. She said it, we all heard it. She said she never paid Reno, that if Reno have evidence, let Reno publish evidence of payment. Now, on that one, I tend to agree with her because the way Reno move on social media space, Reno could not publish that statement a long time ago. Reno would have published that statement to prove that, okay, Natasha is a liar. And then Natasha also said, Reno using some receipt, sharing some receipt, sharing itinerary, ticket and all that online, to prove that he was not actually at the place where Natasha said they met and he was trying to get her number. The senator, Natasha, debunked that by saying, look, you get level where you go day. That when you reach certain level, you can always call your travel agent and ask them to generate ticket for you and backdate it, and then you share it online. So I think what I want to go with that Reno case is, if Reno has evidence of payment, because Natasha says she did not pay Reno, that Reno claimed that her husband paid him, and she asked her husband, and her husband said never, that he never gave Reno no money. Please, Reno, publish the statement of account, publish the proof of payment. So let's round up this Reno segment by getting your 2 cents. Simbi, let me start with you. I see you, my honey babe, you're welcome. But Simbi, let me quickly start with you. What's your take on the story so far?
Uncle Ben, I listened to Natasha and I believe her not because I'm a lady or a woman or or because I'm supporting her or something. I believe her because Reno is very loud, and Reno is not someone that would have evidence and keep it. So I believe that he wasn't paid.
Okay, so in other words, Reno is lying.
Yes, I believe he's lying. Because at the first time I heard of this issue, Uncle Ben, I was a bit skeptical. I was like, Natasha, I want to believe you, but let me just hold on. Let me not jump into conclusion. Because in the comment section, people said talking and talking. I was not like, okay, fine. But it's a good thing that she came for this interview happened, and then she clarified the whole thing. Now it's crystal clear. So I believe her.
All right, thank you. Mr. Dio, what's your take on the Reno saga?
Actually, it is clear, sir. The way Natasha explained everything clear there, even from the one that I had the side of the story where Reno was like accusing that or maybe kind of alleging that there was a case of sexual harassment between that she was lying on him, blah blah blah. I knew there was more to it, and I've had this side of Natasha's story before, because even from that narrative that I had then, it was something different, not sexual harassment. That was the reason why she sent those messages. But people just wanted to create a kind of a different narrative to support the claim that they want to believe should be the case. So, but to me, it was DOA, dead on arrival.
Okay. So you don't believe Renault's story?
I never believed Renault. In fact, I never believed it from day one because I know Renault. Renault runs his mouth. If he has any proof, he will have showed these things. That's how he is.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Dio. My honey babe, I hope you have recovered from the jet lag and all the enjoyment. I saw you, everybody. I'm just waiting for the day until we do a show so that I go come begin to up everybody. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm still jet lagged. Honestly, 10 hours. It's not easy, man. Going to Mexico. It's not a joke. I'm good, thank you. How is everyone? You good?
Now you see what we Americans are dealing with. From where I live to Nigeria is 17 hours, sometimes 19.
For real? Oh my gosh.
So that is why it's usually not easy for us to just say, let me just go to Nigeria. When you think about the fact that you are going to be in the flight, let's say you even go from, say, New York to Nigeria, or maybe from Atlanta straight to Nigeria. You're going to be on air for 14 hours straight. 14 to 15 hours straight, yes. And if you're looking at your screen, or during, if you're looking at your screen, you're going to see that.
Yeah, that's what I was doing, My gosh, 10 hours, it was ridiculous. I don't know how, it's ridiculous. It was so long, but we thank God I got there and I'm back.
Sometimes for good 10 hours, you are just on the sea.
I know.
So it's not easy. But anyway, we're glad you're back and we're happy that you
so much.
Have fun.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah.
The interview yesterday.
Sorry?
The interview, were you able to watch it yesterday when it was live?
I watched a little bit, to be honest, so you may have to like kind of keep me up to date, but I just jumped on because I thought, you know what, I wanted to say hi to everybody, Simbi and yourself, just to say hi. In terms of who's that? Yeah, in terms of someone's okay, I'm hearing feedback.
Yeah, it's Mr. Dio. I think he will correct it.
Hello, Brother Dio. What I wanted to say is that I'm very much a part that if you're going to accuse something, have receipts. So if this gentleman, Rayma, has receipts, then bring out the receipts. And like I said, I personally believe Senator Natasha. I think that she's been very eloquent, and every time she's spoken, and she's been very consistent with her point of view. There's nothing that has changed as far as I'm concerned in terms of what she has said. So this particular gentleman, like I said, bring out the receipts. And I think very much it will be the case where he probably hasn't got any receipts, because I think all this is to tarnish her image, just to make out that what she's saying is not correct and is not true. But I'm very much a proponent of, if you want to accuse something or you believe something, if you want to accuse something, just have the evidence, and that shuts everything up. So if he's got the receipts, bring out the receipts, bring out the bank statements, bring out the transfer of payments. If not, shut up. It's as simple as that. So I personally don't believe this gentleman. I do believe Natasha. At the end of the day, he could be correct. As I said, bring out the receipts.
Yep. Bring out the receipt. Let's see. And
exactly. Yeah.
Somebody of Renault's character, I just wanted to mention this for our real fan who really don't know who is Renault and how Renault operates. Let me show you. This is Renault Omokri. Renault is a political jobber. A political jobber is somebody who is willing to work for anybody that can pay him or her. So Renault is a political jobber. Before the 2023 election, Renault was supporting Atiku Abubakar. And as soon as Tinubu, when he was supporting Atiku Abubakar, he was going after Tinubu back to back, dragging him, and also attacked Peter Obi. Peter Obi happens to be a friend of his, but he changed. He twisted on all of them, and he was just dragging them both. As soon as Atiku lost the election, and Peter Obi was also denied to be crowned the president, Renault switched side and started supporting Tinubu, and he started singing Tinubu praises and everything. And if you know political political jobbers very well. Political jobbers are always after their own personal interest and what they can gain. So I think he was looking for favor, and knowing what is going on between Apabio and Tinubu, and how Apabio knew that allegedly he did not deserve to even be in the Senate in the first place, not to talk about becoming the Senate president. I guess Reno saw a loophole. The moment Natasha accused Apabio of SA, Reno feel like, you know what, let me hop on this. Maybe Apabio can reach out, we can work together to discredit this woman. And that tells me that the same game book that Reno is using is what Sandra Duru is also using. So knowing who Reno is,
I've seen him before. I've seen him before, I think, somewhere. For me, he's someone that he would do anything for money. So he's a snake. He's a traitor. He's scum. What did you expect?
Exactly. Shout out to you, Mom of Five. How are you doing, my sister? Wemimo, you're welcome, ma. All right. So that is it about Reno. I think in that interview, Senator Natasha did a good job. That is just in my opinion. I think she presented her case very well, and she explained the Reno question. So to all the brothers out there, all the men who goes to social media platform and castigating Natasha, because I've heard a lot of men, even some women, use that excuse a lot ever since this case started. They will go like, huh? Don't trust her. She did the same thing to Reno. Reno took her to court. She settled Reno. She paid Reno. Reno do this, Reno do that. I'll be like, okay, let's even assume that she actually lied about Reno. Does that mean that she couldn't be lying about Apabio? Why don't we get to the bottom of this? So, and I think she did an amazing job by actually granting that interview to Adeola. And I also appreciate Adeola for allowing her to speak. Look, let me tell you something. Some of these things, when you go to major news outlets, they are timing you. If you watch that live interview yesterday, I think Natasha spoke all through the interview. Deola was just asking her questions and guiding the interview, but Deola allowed her to express herself and to describe everything in details as it happens. If she had gone to a TV station, they can only give her maybe 10 minutes or 20 minutes slot. They won't let her give details. And I'm saying that for all the people out there who are still saying she's lying. Look, when they go to court, and I think Apabio don't want to go there, there are details that will come out in court that no matter how much you want to handle this case on social media, you will never get to the bottom of it. So please, let me give Deola her flower once again. That was a really good job on her part, because yesterday I enjoyed listening to Natasha explain everything, and I think she cleared a lot of doubt. That is just my own opinion. Shout out to you, my brother, man of prestige. How you day, Baba? I'm missing your live show because it's like we are going live almost the same time, or whether you are finishing, I'm going or something. But welcome, Baba. Shout out. So let me take some comment here. Sisi said, a person that can't pick a side and is flip-floppers is not someone credible. I absolutely agree with you, Sisi, on that one. Mama 5 say, yes, she did. Mama 5 also said, I love Adeola gave her the chance to speak. Absolutely, my sister. That's part of the beauty of YouTube show, because it's individual own. You can talk, you can express yourself. You know, it's not like the media houses that have been bought over. Everything she said on Deola's show yesterday, if she has gone to a TV station to say that, another wahala don't happen by now, because she actually gave out new details that we are not aware of, and we will get there shortly. Sisi say, and that Natasha can overtalk law. It's not overtalk. I think because she's a lawyer, you know, the way lawyer present cases is not the same thing like the way people like me go present case. Even if you notice, like, even when my sister, Misty, if Misty called in and we have legal show going on, you can also see that thing in Misty. Misty will take her time and Misty will explain every part of that, whatever we are analyzing. I think it's just common of lawyers to want to paint a picture and tell a story so you can see where they are coming from. So I don't think she overtalks, Sissy. I think it's just per her profession. M5 say, true, Apabio is the one running from court. Absolutely, my sister. Make that man go court, make case close. That's just what I'm after. And Sissy say, it was great to her to hear her own words. There has been too much speculation and people speaking for Natasha. Glad she was allowed to speak. M5 say, yes, so Apabio alleged corruption. And Sissy say, Uncle Beno, she's very long-winded. Maybe it's a lawyer thing, like you said. I know most lawyers, they go explain. Lawyer go explain, they want to convince you. All right, let's move on to the second segment of the interview. We have just covered the Reno segment. Now, let us talk about, should we go to Sandra Duru or should we address one more thing she addressed before that? I think I will go to Sandra Duru. That is the longest part of the whole conversation. All right. Simbi, what are you saying?
No, I said go ahead, boss. You were asking a question, so I think you addressing Sandra Duru is okay.
Okay. Let's move on to Sandra Duru.
Welcome to Trends Reality, your go-to channel for trending social political updates. Subscribe, like, and leave your thoughts in the comments.
All right. Welcome back, my people. Let's talk about the second part. I think that is the third segment. I will skip the other segment because in between now and the Sandra thing, Deola asked her a couple of questions, so you may have to go and watch the Deola show in order to get that. But let's quickly dive into Professor Ngbeki part of this conversation. I'm looking for it now. So for those who missed it yesterday, all right. So
Chief Protocol Officer.
So for those who might missed it yesterday, the way they started the Professor Ngbeki thing was that Senator Natasha explained how she got to know Professor Ngbeki, and Deola asked her, did you ever speak with Professor Ngbeki? Like I said, Deola asked all the right questions yesterday, and she said yes. So she explained how she gets to know her, and she explained that she actually called her and they spoke for about 37 minutes. And she also explained the message. If you watch Ngbeki live show, Ngbeki was claiming that Natasha was deleting evidence, and she also cleared that up, that she did not deleted any evidence, that she actually forwarded her credentials to Professor Ngbeki, and they are 15 in number. And she said Deola should look at the timestamp, and everything happened under 1 minute. She said there is no way somebody can type 15 messages in 1 minute and delete all the 15 messages. And they actually compared the timestamp on Senator Natasha's phone to the timestamp on Sandra Duru's phone. So let's take a listen to see what's going on here.
Officer in Kogi, Honorable Jude Sule, he was abducted from his home by men in armed uniform, and he was questioned about my movement. He was questioned as to whether I was going to be valued. I said, okay. So he did call the number.
Hold on. Here she was explaining magical travel to Kogi State when she came in an helicopter. So let me find where Deola is speaking.
The screenshot of the entire chats, if you don't mind putting that.
Address your own petitions.
They should have, yeah. They should have addressed it.
Senator Apabio's petitions.
Yes, they should have. I mean, I was the one who went to the police.
Okay, let me save you the time. What they are talking about there are the various petitions. It happens that Natasha has petitioned the police way more than any other petition from Apabio and anyone else. She actually petitioned the police 12 times, and the police never acted on any of those petitions. All the accusations she levied against Apabio, Yaya Bello, everything that happens, they are always accompanied with a petition, but the police never acted upon it. So that's what she's explaining there. But I just wanted to get to the Sandra Duru part as fast as I can.
First, in short, my first petition was when the Senate president stripped me of my security. I did complain to the police that, look, I'm in harm's way, considering the fact that I had quite a violent election and there has never been a time. But I want you to put
organizations.
But will you put the video for this cause? She said it doesn't really matter because she's a woman. She presented herself. And let be in Kogi and which route I was going to take. And the man failed to honor them with any response. He was kept for 2 days before dropped at the police station in Okini. It's on record there in Kogi that the man was there. So there were considerable attempts to monitor my movement, track me, hunt me. And like I did mention, there was actually a meeting between Yahaya Bello and Apabio on the night of the 14th of March,
so
2025, where they did plan to assassinate me and to recall me. And when I did call, after that information, I did call a few press houses to tell them that, look, there was going to be a recall and there was also an assassination attempt, but then they asked for written proof before the press could have carried that story. But then there was no written proof, like a statement of a recall. But then suddenly, after 3 days after that,
you apply to this amazing job. You wait for a response and nothing. Enhansive can upgrade.
The recall news broke up. So, yeah.
Okay. These are also like strong allegations, but you are defending yourself. Yes, I want to move to Professor Sandra Duru. And in talking about Sandra Duru, the most important thing that Nigerians would like to know, myself included, first and foremost, did you speak with Sandra Duru? Did you guys speak? Like, what's going on? Let's start from there.
Thanks a lot, Adiola. I know this is the most desired question, and everybody watching the all ears now. Yes. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. I would say that categorically, I did not speak with Dr. Sandra Duru, but I did speak with Professor Mbeki as she presented herself. And let me take you back.
It's the same person.
I got to know that it's one and the same person after her broadcast. Let me take you back. And I have, if you don't mind, the screenshot of the entire chats. If you don't mind putting that up so that I can speak to it.
You sent me a screenshot of your chat with her, but I'm also trying to make sure that the address of what's it called? Hold on, I just want to make sure that no address is showing.
So you want to blur the addresses?
Yes. So you speak.
Okay, let me speak. So in the morning at about 10 o'clock on the 27th of March, a dear friend of mine, Ina Agu, who I've known for the past 10 years. Last I saw him was 4 years ago, but we've always maintained contact. He's been very involved and concerned with the developments. So he reached out to me in the morning. I was tending to my garden, and he said, Natasha, there's someone I would like you to speak to. She's been doing a whole lot of publications in support of your cause. I said, who? He said, Professor Mbeki, Professor on Facebook. I was like, okay, I've seen 1 or 2 of her posts in my support, and I think I did like and make a comment on it. He said yes, that he did reach out to her, and then he was like, you know what, encouraged her and all of that stuff, and said, okay, if I should please call her and tell her thank you. My friend had connected me to a number of people in the past. Whenever he saw anyone grant an interview, he'll call me, oh, Natasha, I have this person's number, just say thank you, so people will feel appreciated and valued. I said, okay. So he did call the number out. That was about 10:30 in the morning on the 27th of March. So I called the phone. Hello, Professor Mbeke. She was like, hi, this is it. I told her, thank you so much for lending your voice to this cause. She said it doesn't really matter because she's a woman. She's been sexually harassed before. Her daughter was also sexually harassed. She connected with me and she wasn't doing it for me alone. She was doing it for, the bigger vision, all Nigerian women and women around the world. Conversations went on. But basically, the conversations were not all that she put out or what she said. And before you run down the chats, the screen, I did send you the video of all the conversations, and I'll appreciate if you publish it for Nigerians to read. But
I will.
While we were speaking, she told me she was a professor of psychology. I had no reason to doubt because, come on, I like to believe people on the face value of what they present themselves to be. If she says she's a professor, okay, she's a professor. I mean, I supposed to know that she is, Professor Mbeke is just a moniker. It's just a decoy of who she truly is. And yeah, she did say she was a professor of psychology. And I was like, oh, to myself, this is who I am. I ran her through my credentials as well. She said she's affiliated with a number of international organizations, United Nations, WHO, UNICEF for Children, and many others. I was like, okay. She said she was going to use her platform to draw attention on this matter of sexual harassment, and that if I had any other addresses, so that she would also write to them through her organization. I was like, okay, so while we're on the call, if you can publish that I think is important. I speak to the chat messages. So that was when I did send to her the first two contacts, which is the Senate President's counterpart in London and the Speaker of the Commonwealth. That, okay, while you're writing to your United Nations and other international organizations, you can also...
Those organizations, I wasn't able to blot their address. Is that okay with you?
Maybe just... Okay, so but how will you... But I want you to put...
organizations.
But will you put the video? I want you to put the remainder of the chat, because if you can't, then maybe you want me to do a screenshot. Maybe you start from...
Sorry, I just uploaded the wrong one.
Get your rental car just a 6-hour wait. Hi, listen to your common sensei and...
That's not it.
No, that's one of the posts she had previously written in my support.
Okay, so let me... What's this one? So I'm not able to blur.
But maybe you can skip that part so they'll know that, okay, that's what it is.
Okay. Let's see if you can skip that part.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Awesome.
Okay, she's almost there. Let me speak why she tried to get there. So what happened? She has established that she actually spoke to Professor Mbeke, and she also established that she had no clue who she was when they started speaking. For me, I think she made a mistake right there. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to throw Nigerians under the bus, but for me, if I'm dealing with somebody who is a Nigerian, in a matter like this, I will have to run a background check on you. But there is something about people at times. I think sometimes they tend to believe liars. And I think allegedly this Professor Mbeke, she's really good at marketing herself. In fact, if you go to her pages, she markets herself in such a way that if you are not applying your number 6, you will think that she was truly who she claimed she is. So while I fought Senator Natasha for not doing her due diligence, try to at least do her background check to know who exactly is this person. And she went ahead having this conversation with her, why she's claiming that she have access to all these international organizations, the UN, the association of this and that. Mbeke can easily convince you, honestly speaking. Now, I want to show you something real quick before we go back to this interview. Let me just show you something. Maybe that will help you in understanding who this woman truly was and is. Watch this. This is somebody that actually went and dig into her past in Nigeria. Can you all see my screen? Honey babe, do you know who's on the screen? Honey babe, can you recognize this person on the screen? You know who is she?
No. Who is
Okay.
it?
Oh, yeah, I'm getting there. Still behind about you. You know this person with this screen, so I don't think you know either. All right.
No, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Professor Mbeke. That is Sandra Duru and her ex-husband, allegedly. That is who she was before she left Nigeria, I guess. Look at her face. And to answer your question, CC, because CC has been asking all this why. Why AI? She got too many AI pictures. Why AI? Well, CC, I guess you can now see why she opted for AI. So this is Professor Mbeke, allegedly back in Nigeria. This is still her with her husband and her chain, her hairstyle, everything. You see, now the person that shared this was also trying to establish the same fact that was established by that man. So this person just narrated all her 419 exploit and all that. So I just wanted to show you guys real quick before we proceed further with that interview on Natasha. Now, I asked the question, and I think Sister Natu is already answering the question self. I said, not a question, I actually give my opinion. I said I fought Natasha for opening up and sharing a lot with a complete stranger without doing her background check. And Sister Natu said, Uncle Ben, Natasha trusted the friend that brought Mbeke. I agree, but just my own thing, Sha. No matter how much I trusted the friend, I wouldn't open up this super deep. But again, I want to, like we always preach grace here, I want to give Senator Natasha some grace. When you are in a tight corner and you are fighting these principalities, anybody, any help that you can get, you might definitely want to go for it. All right. And Sisi is replying saying, Adnatu, but the friend didn't know her either. You see, so those are the issues. Let us just learn from all this. While I say I sympathize or empathize with Natasha, which one should I say I do now? Honey babe, babe me out. Should I say I empathize with Natasha or sympathize? I don't even know. But why I kind of felt sorry for Senator Natasha, I think in that regard, Senator Natasha shared too much. Now, let's take a listen to how much she actually shared. Here we go.
Please keep talking. I'm having
Yeah,
trouble
empathize.
inputting
Thank you,
it, but
Sissy. Thank you, Sister
it
Rose.
would work. This is where we rebuke the devil.
I wanted to share something.
And
Mom of
you know,
5.
one of the reasons that I'm glad that you sent this is because a lot of people would also like to know, why did you delete your conversation with her? Because she put up
Mom of 5 said,
We're going to
I
get
can't
to
too
that.
much
That's
of
why I want you
read
to show the
any of
entire.
Mbeke post.
I
I
want you to
think
show
she
the
needs her head
entire
checked.
video, the screenshot. But what might have to happen, since we want to take away the addresses of the first. Yeah, you've showed it already. Yeah, okay, so we start from here. Yeah. No, just stop. Please go back a bit up, a little bit to the top. Yeah. You can see it's Professor Mbeke, to the best of my knowledge that I spoke with, as she presented herself. It's just like you now, Adeola. If I've known you as Adeola, you can't come tomorrow. I saw you're Cynthia. Because at that point, I was speaking pretty much on the phone. My phone was always buzzing between the lawyers and Nigerians of goodwill. I spoke to a lot of people. So in my mind, I saved her name as Professor Mbeke. But that wasn't the DP she had at that time. The DP has changed anyway. It was a white dress she was wearing, but it's still an AI generated. I didn't know it was an AI generated video. Like I said, I trusted her on face value. So just before then, she sent me, after I forwarded her the gentleman, the contacts that she said she was going to send letters to, because she's affiliated with United Nations and many.
This is Pod 5, the first fully immersive sleep system.
Oh boy.
Organization that promote women's rights and all of that. So if I had any contacts that she should write to, I should forward. So I said, okay, fine. You can as well draw the attention of the Speaker of the UK Parliament and the Commonwealth. That was why I sent that. After all, she told me she had written books, and that these books would also speak to the situation at hand. I was like, okay, she sent me this forward. It's only later on in the course of things I got to know that the books she says she's written are also AI written books. But anyway, that's for her to decide or whatever. So just scroll down a bit.
Okay, so we can just play it.
Yeah, so after that, in the course of our conversation, that was me sending to her the I think that was a letter during the return. That was the document, the letter, the Kogi Central Political Frontier. We did speak about that. So I told her that, look, this does not exist. We run a CAC check, and this Kogi Central Political Frontier, as a body that was used to recall me, did not have a legal bearing because it was not registered. So that was what we spoke about. Mind you, it was on the phone, so we're kind of communicating through that. I'm just letting you know the nature of the conversation. So you see that it does not, what she's saying that I said does not even add up at all. That also, I can forward to you what that was, is my petition, my lawyer's petition to INEC. That was what I sent there. So later on, she did say that she had a message. She reached out to my friend, Ina Okoli, that she didn't want to speak to him on blah, 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 that she was an independent person pursuing justice. I didn't really understand where this came from, because at that point we had finished talking. So I didn't, so when she said that, I didn't really understand that. So I think I tried to call her, but she didn't pick up. You can scroll down to see. Please play it further. No, just let it run through. Yeah, you can see that I didn't really understand where that my friend stopped. So here, also part of the conversations we had, now please pause here. Part of the conversations we had was the manner in which Senator Nweboyi went all out, castigating me and demeaning me on all the news platforms. So at that point, I told her that I didn't like the fact that I am constantly being reduced and objectified as just a beautiful woman or, you know, a pretty face, that I would like people to look at me as a technocrat, a woman who is well-schooled, who is competent, who is a senator, that when men are conversing, men don't go, oh, I'm going to engage you because you are well-built. I'm going to engage you because you're handsome. Men don't do that. So if you're speaking to me as a lawyer, as an MBA executive, as a senator, speak to me on my competencies and not because I'm beautiful. So that was where she now said, oh, you are a lawyer? And I was like, yes, of course. I ran her through. I'm a lawyer. I have my MBA in oil and gas management. My formative years in my career were spent in the oil and gas sector. So I did run her through that. So
okay. You know, because I'm playing this from YouTube, I have to interrupt every now and then. All right. So please don't say maybe I just want to talk. That's why I'm stopping it from playing. If I allow it to just play all through, I may have to take this video down later. But I quickly wanted to point something out here. Yes, this is coming from Sister Grace. So Sister Grace said Natasha only spoke to her for about 30 minutes and she then realized the danger. So the point where we are right now in Natasha's narrative and linking that to what Auntie Grace said, this is why I said I have issue with Natasha. How can you spoke to a complete stranger and in less than 30 minutes, you have almost presented everything about you to her? Because trust me, you see that case they are bringing against Natasha now, that one they said Nigerian government versus Senator Natasha. Everything in me, even though I'm not a lawyer, everything tells me that some of the things Natasha shared with Professor Ngbeke is what is giving them that confidence to sue her, because they now believe Natasha herself hand over some evidence they can use against her. That's why they think that, oh, she gave you this, she gave you that. And to come back to what Auntie Grace said, in 30 minutes, just 30 minutes of conversation, the whole thing that happened is not even up to an hour. From the moment she get to speak with her, to the point where they are exchanging information and everything, to when Natasha realizes that this lady sounds like she's neither here or there. Because even if you listen to the way this Ngbeke speak, go and watch her video, go and read her post, her mini blog post. She will start a topic, she will end up with something else. While she's on one topic, she's making innuendos, referring to something that is completely different from what they are on. And like M5 said, she's giving this energy of somebody who need to get checked out. Something is not right somewhere. So from the moment Natasha called her to the time Natasha realized that something is off about this woman, how can you have sent in so much information that this lady is now running all over the place, believing that she has gotten something that she can use to take down Senator Natasha? All right, let's continue the video, but I just wanted to highlight that real quick. Let's go on.
At that point, she said, she's impressed. Do I have my credentials? I said, yes, I do have my credentials, which I already made public in the year 2019. And it's actually in the media space. She said I should please forward my credentials to her, together with this screenshot from News Central Instagram page, that she was going to make a post along the line of identifying a woman on competences and not a pretty face. So that was where I sent this. And if you look at it, there are 15 items.
Yeah.
Just scroll up again so that people will see.
Yeah.
All of this, which, hold on, just pause there. There are about 15 of them in total. They were all my credentials. They were sent in. I dropped them in at the same time. It's like when you drop pictures or PDF files, they all land at the same time. Contrary to what she said on her live, that this were when I was chatting her up and offering her 200 million to blackmail Apabio. That is not true. Nobody can type 15 messages and the same in 1 minute. It's not possible. I don't even think AI will do that, however fast and smart it is. So these 15 documents, Adeola, I'm going to forward them to you. You'll see.
So everything came in at 12:40 on my screen.
My own time, 12:40. But if you look at her own message, it was 6:40, I think. If you look at it, because when she did her own, I saw the screenshot. Remember, she's in Texas. They are like 6 hours behind.
So you're saying that the messages that she said you deleted, you are saying that they were actually your credentials.
My credentials. Look at them. I've sent. Hold on.
So
I've
why
sent them
did
to you. I'm getting there. Look at them. These are my credentials. There were 15 of them from my primary school certificate. From my primary school certificate, my testimonial. This is it. My secondary school, Federal Government College, Idoani. You'll see it there. This were University of Abuja, Nigeria Law School, NYSC, CAPMLP, that's University of Dundee, Aberdeen, had a program there, and many other. This is INSEAD, my MBA. Okay, this is still INSEAD. IHRDC in Boston.
Natasha, you are
because I did mention that I
overqualified.
have quite a lot of.
You are
I've sent everything
overqualified.
to you anyway. It's in your phone right now. But that's what I published. That's it. And you know one thing, the beauty is that I just got back from the US because I was there to also see how we could further some of this, because I really am going to get to the bottom of this. And I'm told that in matters, I believe if WhatsApp is contacted, they can be able to extract these deleted items because they did have it happen on their platform. So we're hoping that in the course of the litigations, they'll be able to extract. But I'm just letting Nigerians should just understand that it was in the course of our conversation where she wanted to make a post, putting side by side Senator Nwabo's statement. If you look at it up there, where he said, does Natasha think she's one of the most beautiful women in Nigeria? So, and I told her that I didn't like the fact that women have been reduced or objectified. Speak to me as a competent individual, a technocrat. And that was why I told her about my academic, qualifications. And she said, okay, I should forward it. So that's why they all dropped at the same time. When you drop bulk messages in pictorial forms or PDF or whatever, they land at the same time. It's impossible. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So what she's saying right here is that the reason she forwarded all those information to Professor Ngbeke is because she's trying to make a point that the way Nwaboye was going about dragging her, speaking to her, reducing her to just an ordinary woman with maybe without much value, that Nwaboye was probably insinuating that she got to where she is because of her beauty. So she wanted to change the narrative that, look, I am not just where I am because I'm a pretty woman. It's because I earned it. I have all these qualifications to back up who I am actually is. I remember Ngbeke has succeeded at this point in convincing her that she has all these connections, that she is connected to all these organizations, international organizations, and that she's going to go into this battle and fight for Senator Natasha's right. So that is why she was sending her all these qualifications to prove, like my CC said right now, to prove that she's a high-valued woman. Now, much respect and no disrespect to my African sisters, and this is not just even African sisters. A lot of Africans do this a lot. When we have acquired certifications, all kinds of degrees from one village in Africa to the Ivy League institutions abroad, we like to brag about it. We like to brag about our accomplishment. Any little thing, we want to throw it on everybody's face that this is who I am. I have titles. I am so. I am so. Everything has its own shortcomings anyway. And we do that a lot. So please, if we can learn to at least reduce it. And that's why sometimes you see that when some of us Africans want to talk, we talk in terms of our qualifications. We like to start by, oh, I am engineer, so. I used to work with the department of so. I have been a consultant to Elon Musk. I work on a space project in so. So like, we like to talk in terms of our accomplishments. So I believe that same mentality is what Senator Natasha was trying to prove by sending all these things to Professor Ugbeke that, hey, look, this one boy is running his mouth and he really don't know that I got to where I am because I merit to be there. It wasn't because of one favor or the other. So there are just so many lessons to get from this. Mr. Dayo, do you want to add anything to that? The proving of who I am.
Yes, actually, I think the thing is just that, you know, she never knew that Igbeke was like pushing her on to be able to get something from her. She never knew. She trusted that because her friend introduced her, number one, and then she thought that she was trying to like advance her cause, because she was like, she came from the angle that she's going to help her to push a narrative so that people can see her in a better light. So that was why she fell. If she had the clue that this woman was just trying to get information from her to do the wrong thing, she would have given it at all. But at not will have it, she still have all these evidences to prove herself right. So to me, I can't blame her in this. This can happen to anybody. You are saying something, oh, do you have proof? Yes, I have proof. This is the proof. And next thing, the person has twist everything and change it to something else. What could she have done in that kind of a situation? Nothing, because she didn't see it coming at all.
Okay, thank you. Sissy, what's your take on this one?
Uncle Ben.
You mean honey babe?
Oh.
There's a feedback sound.
No, it's
you mean honey babe?
Mr. Dayo, I have to come back again. Honey babe, I can hear you, but Sissy is here. Sissy is
hi Cece. I'll let you talk. Hi, babe. How you doing, baby? Okay?
I'm good, thanks.
Okay, I'll let you speak.
Uncle Ben, you've been on my neck the whole afternoon. I will not greet you.
Don't greet me now. You ladies are on our neck too. You can imagine three brothers who did not agree with any of us. This don't even go there. Let us face Professor Ugbeke.
You stress me. I'm even having a headache.
I know. I'll be back with you, Sissy. Let me take this comment real quick from Man of Prestige.
Go for it.
Man of Prestige said, Ugbeke was just another random public support. It's weird that she sent all those documents to prove what? Oh, God bless you.
Exactly.
I don't get it. Go ahead, Sissy.
Exactly. Okay, so my take is, I know people will say, "Oh, you know, she made a mistake," which is fair, but I feel like at her level of the notoriety that she had at this current moment, even just the access, is it any random person that will post and how many of us have liked and retweeted? I've not seen her friend approach any of us and say, "Oh, I know this Uncle Ben on YouTube, call him, have conversation." She'll call you and just start downloading all of her credentials. I'm just like, who does that? That's so bloody weird. So to me, I still don't understand the mindset of doing that. I don't know if it's just I don't know, over familiarity, but they're not even familiar. So people are saying, oh, the friend. I'm kind of side-eyeing the friend, because if that was me and that's my friend, I would at least have checked the person out. It's not difficult. I don't know why people are so afraid of just doing simple search. Google is your best friend. LinkedIn. If somebody's saying they're working for WHO, they're working for UNICEF, they're working for all these big organizations, you just have to type their name onto Google. All of their credentials will come up, right? My partner does a lot of work where he does public speaking for the industry that he's in. Type his name into Google. All of his posts that he's done around different corporate companies, talks that they've invited, it will just pop up instantaneously. You don't have to go and do some public, what do you call it, like CIA deep dive into these people. So that to me, I'm just like, there wasn't really a need or an urgency to call this woman. It's not like the woman said, oh, I've got this woman. She's going to, she's going to help you. Like, she's the lawyer for you to go and help you fight this Apabio case. It wasn't that type of introduction. So to me, the urgency of why she needed to call her so immediately and start having all this conversation and downloading all of her details, it's just, I don't know, maybe the stress that Natasha, but it was very poor judgment on her part. And it was just so unnecessary. That's why, to me, I said to you that this Natasha, she also likes to overdo, right? She overtalks. Even though you say it's a lawyer thing, it's not a lawyer thing. I think it's a bit of her ego as well. And she overdoes with this presentation of 15 of your documents. I mean, I work within GDPR guidelines in terms of the work that I do. Your personal information, you're just sending it to randoms on the internet. It's bizarre to me. It's very bizarre to me. So on that aspect, I just feel like her judgment was off, and her friend as well, because to me, there was no urgency in calling this woman. The fact that she's supported you. Thousands of people have supported Natasha. She hasn't reached out to them and had a one-to-one conversation and start downloading. What is she trying to prove? She doesn't have to prove anything. You say, I'm a lawyer. She didn't even verify that woman's credentials to find out she's not even a professor. You just took her word on, I'm a professor, and you started downloading your whole life story, all your credentials to the woman. But she didn't even fact check this Mbeki lady to find that she's not even a bloody professor.
See, it's called Mbeki, not Mbeki.
I don't know who she is. I'm sorry. I'm mispronouncing the name. It's not on purpose. It's just not coming. I'm just tongue tying. It's making me tongue tie. But she didn't even fact check this woman herself. So you're speaking to her. You're assuming she's a professor. Why do you need to prove who you are to her? Everybody online knows Natasha as a lawyer. I've not gone to look at Natasha's credentials online. I've just taken it. She says she's a lawyer. She's a lawyer. Now she's a senator. She's a senator. Until somebody comes and says otherwise, I don't need her to send me her certificates from all her universities from primary school. Come on. That's just so over the top. Yeah. Very over the top. Yeah.
And that's a very valid point. Let me take this comment from Auntie Grace. Auntie Grace said, Sandra probably came to help Natasha for what she could get, but when she didn't get the money reward she was looking for, she decided to go and sell herself to the Senate president. I kind of agree with that thought too. Mr. Dyer said, but Natasha did say that all the credentials she sent are all in the public space already. Even if it's in the public space already, she gave too much. That's just what I think Sisi and I are both saying now. And I really don't want any woman or any man at all to make this type of mistake. It's too expensive. Okay, let's move on. I had a pushback with something Sisi said. Okay, yes, I remember.
Really? I'm surprised. What a surprise.
Yeah, Sisi, you said you said she overtalk, she overdo. What I wanted to ask is this: can you list at least 5 African women with all this qualification that doesn't overtalk?
To me, all of her credentials, she has every right to brag about them. My problem is the person that you're choosing to brag to about it. Is it warranted? It's not warranted. If she meets a road sweeper on the road, will she start saying, oh, I went to this university, I went to Ivy this one, I went to come on, I went to Stanford, I went to this one in Oxford University. It's not, I'm saying she's overdoing, because to me, the person that she's relating with and the context of the conversation in the moment doesn't warrant her to give off all this information. Yeah. Because if somebody wants to know who Natasha is, they simply have to type her name, Google will bring everything up. If there's anything that they need further information on, you can ask and then they can give it to you later if there's a reason. To me, there's no reason for her to be pulling all her records, even for her to even have this on social media. Her certificates from primary school, her certificates from NYC, it's overdoing. No, a normal person, what does she have to do all of this to? What is she proving? I get that she's proving that, you know, she's a smart woman, but it's not necessary. To the people that she's doing it to, it's not necessary. She didn't know this woman from a can of paint. She was just a random person on the internet. And then now, because she's done all of this connection, again, because she didn't fact check and she started downloading her whole life story, I mean, in terms of her experience, you're downloading your life story to somebody who's not even a credible person. For
All
what
right,
reason? That's why I'm saying she was overdoing.
All right.
Can I say something, Benno,
Yeah,
please?
Go ahead.
I'm very similar, maybe because me and Cece are based in the UK. We're very, very careful who we give our data to. You don't, because
absolutely
people can use your data to obviously do scams, you know, a lot of things, a lot of to do with money laundering, etc., etc. So I very much agree with what Cece is saying. Someone calls you randomly, you don't give your. I remember my son wanted to sign up to Roadblocks, and I have his passport, and he wanted to now use his passport. I said, "Are you okay?" Because I said, we don't, like I said, you're using my laptop. We don't know who has access to my laptop, even though I'm very careful. They can now use my son's passport details to now, to now use his data for whatever reason. So I think people need to be very much aware. I don't know whether it's a Nigerian thing, but you need to be very careful with your data. Someone calls you. Like I said, Google is your friend. There's LinkedIn. If anybody calls me, I will Google. I don't know who's, that's really bad feedback. It's doing my ears. So who is that? Sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I think it's from.
Sorry, it's just through my ears. It's really, really high, the screeching. But what I will say is that, like Cece said, Google is your friend. You should be, if someone calls you, you immediately do Google. You have conversations like personal sensitive information, like your certificates, like your identity, whether it's your passport. You don't just give it to anybody. You have conversations, and if they want that information, like Cece said, you ask questions why, and they should be able to give you credible, reasonable explanations as why you need why they need that data. I think the issue is that there needs to be an understanding, which I think is lacking in certain areas of the world regarding data and the sensitivity of data. You just don't give your information to just anybody.
Yeah.
If not, you get
All right.
situations like which you have with Senator Natasha. She's someone that is a lawyer. I'm very disappointed for her not to have been as smart as she should have. And she should not have given access for someone to have her information.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, honey babe.
Sorry, guys. I've changed my handset.
Okay,
Is it better?
Cece is back now. It's better now.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, Cece, Mr. Dan said her only mistake was to believe a stranger on face value only. She didn't do due diligence on Beke. She was probably carried away by the professor in front of her name. Absolutely, I agree with that. And Imposter, what's you doing? How are you doing? You're welcome. Imposter said, it's the professor team that got Senator Natasha.
Clearly, because at the end of the day, she's a public figure, right? It's not everybody that should have access to you. Would you see an Obama or a Boris Johnson speak to somebody on Twitter, for example, and then start having a conversation and just start downloading all their personal information? I know people are saying that, this is some of the practices that are not proper in Africa. I don't know if it's an African thing, but I mean, she's a public figure. You need to have a certain level of decorum as well, how you present yourself. The fact that your information is online to this extent is unnecessary, and they should actually clean up her team. She should get her team to take this information off social media or wherever she's got this stuff. It's not necessary.
She need to scrub it off. You are right. A poster said Mbeke said she wanted to do a write-up on her. Yeah. You see, there is something I'm not proud of, even though it marveled me every time, and I'm not proud of it. The thing is, how Nigerians, not all of us, but some of us can actually get somebody to do our biddings, even if they haven't seen us. You see this 419 thing we talk about. That 419 is not everybody that can do it too. Do you know how many times Indians have tried to scam me? Even white people here in America, they do scamming a lot too. But the moment they begin this scam, you will just know that this is BS. Get the fuck out of my line, man. But still, we Nigerians, those who are talented in this scam thing, they just have a way of getting their victims to do their biddings in no time at all. And I think allegedly this Professor Ngbeke, she has perfected the strategy on how to get people to do her bidding. And I know how it is easier for her to do it in a way. Everything about 419 is you trying to impersonate who you are not. And it's you trying to build a kind of fake credential and status around yourself. You remember what that white man said on Deola show, that anytime Beke is struggling and they be like, oh, why are you struggling like this? Why don't you do this? Or why don't you take a taxi or go take a public bus? She will say, no, I'm royalty. I can't go on a bus. So I think she just perfected her act very well, and that is how she was able to capture Senator Natasha. And let me also point another thing out again. Senator Natasha is not like a real hardcore Nigerian street babe. You know, she's a mixed breed, Ukraine and Nigerian, and she studied abroad, and she probably lives most of her life as a very affluent lady. So she did not really know how street works. And then
She was
Yeah,
not
but
street smart.
that's not an excuse. All the more reason, if she was based abroad, yeah, as you say, all the more reason for her to have due diligence, because in this part of the world, you don't just give your personal information to just anybody. No one can come up to me and then next thing I know, I'm giving him my passport details within 10 minutes. It doesn't work like that. If she's based in the, in the diaspora, she should be even more smarter. There's no way, yeah, that I don't know, I can speak for myself, and I assume Cece can speak for herself, that with the fact that we're based here, we're going to give our data to just anybody. You can tell me you're writing a book. You can say that the Queen is coming to see me or the King is coming to see me. I would do my due diligence. I would know you don't have a professorship. I would know you're lying. I would know you're not royalty. I would know everything because I would do my due diligence. So I don't agree with your analysis that because she was brought up abroad that she's that stupid.
Well, honey babe, it's okay if you see it that way. But what I'm trying to say is this. I've seen Nigerians scam people with all the degrees in this world right here in America. I've seen white people, both in America and the UK, fell for a street boy in Nigeria. I've seen white women with all the education fall for a street scammer in Nigeria.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, maybe.
So I get what you're saying, honey babe. It's just that why some of us, we try to build some, can I say, trigger alert around us when it comes to how we deal with other people. Not everybody are used to that. And the reason you see a lot of rich people, rich affluence people, the reason you see them fall victim to people of the lower class is because they have been operating in that realm of people who used to be what they claim they are for way too long. For instance, in Nigeria right now, you see the elite in Nigeria, they are living in a different world from majority of Nigerians. All these senators, all these big boys that you see, besides those boys that they came from the street and then they blew, especially those ones that are from the rich, the affluent home, they are living in a different world, not in the same world like the rest of us. So once you know the code of how they operate in their own realm, you can get whatever you want from them. You know, before I even came to America, I always ask that, how can somebody be so dumb that somebody in Nigeria can put it in your head that you will walk to a store and you will buy Western Union to transfer money to a complete stranger you haven't seen. I used to just imagine it. At the point, I wanted to say, now Juju, now you. But the moment I started living in America, I saw what is going on. Let me take another example. Let me use another example real quick. Look at e-commerce. E-commerce. All of us here, we have all bought one thing or the other from e-commerce platforms. And we believe that they're going to deliver it to us. Or is it not? It works here. Now, for somebody who comes from a place like Nigeria, you are still going to be skeptical about that e-commerce platform being working. Even me that I'm speaking with you right now, anything that is not coming from Amazon or a major distributor platform, I ain't paying. I'm not buying. I have PayPal, for instance. I hardly operate anything with my PayPal unless it's extremely important. So all I'm just saying is that people like Senator Natasha, they live in a different world. People like all these, our senators, governors in Nigeria, them and their children and the people in their circle, they are living in a different world. So it's so freaky easy for them to say, I'm a doctor. I'll give you another example. When I was in Nigeria, it's going to take the whole world for you to convince me that a young girl or boy or a young man or lady of age 27, 28 can actually be a PhD holder. It will take the entire world to convince me. I was irony. It's not possible. But living in this world now, I have now seen that, oh, wow. Even some people can have their PhD at age 24, 25, depending on what circle they belong. So I'm just saying all that Senator Natasha is living in a different world from the rest of us. That's why it's easier for somebody to just go by the alias Professor Mbeke. If you listen in this interview, she said, Deola, I thought I was speaking to Professor Mbeke. It was later I found out I have actually spoke with Sandra Duru. So I just wanted to clarify that. Let's move on. And for those who are following the Champions League, well, PSG has finally won the Champions League and they beat Inter Milan 5-0. So I believe a lot of people have lost their money anyway. Let's continue with this interview.
That's why this is what I sent to her. My work, certificates, everything. So
people may ask, why did you delete the messages?
So let's proceed. So after that, I didn't hear from Sandra. Let's go back to the text messages. Yeah. Okay.
If you have a 700 plus credit score, you qualify for Chase's new program where you could access up to $150,000 of capital for free.
Look at the time. That was 12:40. So then at about, let me go back so I can read from my own space here. Yeah. This is it on my phone. So just to let you know that I want to read it as well from here since we've been. Okay. So this is it from my own phone. That's the screenshot. And then this is where we are here. Okay. So now, then after about 4 hours, she sent this first message asking for a contract and asking how I was going to take care of her and her team.
So let me read it.
Let's read it. This is very important. It's important Nigerians read this because this is where things got interesting. Mind you, the 37 minutes we spoke had nothing to do with contracts, had nothing to do with I'm engaging. I never told her there was nothing like sexual harassment, that I'm all set out to destroy Tinubu's Yoruba government, that I called Nigeria gullible and hungry, that I paid Dr. Obiesi Kwisili money to carry on the advocacy, that I what did she say? I was going to poison my husband.
You called her useful idiot.
That I called Frida useful idiot. Never, ever, ever. And I'm actually glad in a way that she is a witness in this federal government suit, because she has to testify on everything. She must provide evidence that is going to be subjected to verification. Because you see, there's a limit. I don't know. I've listened to some of these audios. What she did in a way is so funny. Like, apparently the way I'm speaking to you over the on here now sounds differently from when I'm speaking to you in person, or when I grant an interview, or when I speak to you over the phone. So what she probably did was get how I sounded over the phone, of course. And then she released one part where I mentioned about working in brass LNG and all, of course. But then she used some AI to now generate other parts that I didn't speak of. But again, I don't know what else she has in stock, but I'm challenging her. And like I said, I just returned from the US. I'm in London now, but I'm going to be in Nigeria for the arraignment on the 3rd, because I have done no wrong. I'm not going to run away. The 3rd of June has been fixed, 2 p.m. So I'm going to be there to defend myself fully in person. But also, I'm letting Nigerians know that this is not going to go down this easy, because people can't wake up one day and just cook up stories and manipulate and use whatever technology they think they can access just to defend the person. No, I'm saying it clearly now before the world. I never said there was no sexual harassment. I never said I'm out to destroy Tinubu's Yoruba government. I'm not one. People who know me will know that I am not a tribalist, and I respect and appreciate every tribe in Nigeria, every ethnicity. I mean, who am I? I'm half Ukrainian, half Nigerian. Who am I to talk about tribes when I'm actually one part of the other world? So that's not my nature. That's not my language. And if anybody said that, that's probably her team. The people who are sponsors were the ones that put those words to her, because they knew that I had and I enjoyed a lot of support from Nigerians, not just in Kogi State, across the country, even in diaspora. So, and he also knows, the Senate President also knows that I enjoyed to a large extent a good relationship with the President himself, even though I have never said it in the open, but I'm saying it now. And that actually annoyed him, because there was a time that the Senate President told my husband, I was like, are you aware your wife goes to see the president? And my husband was like, yes, I'm aware. Whenever she has critical issues to raise, like before I brought up the Jakarta's probe, I did meet with Mr. President to make sure that he knew the nature of that and was okay with it. So, and
all right. I want to ask a question, and I want us to deliberate on this real quick. You see, this issue between Natasha and Apabio is deeper than what we are seeing. It's deeper than the SA allegation. Natasha just said right now that she used to go and see Mr. President, and she's visiting Mr. President, more importantly, to speak about the Ajaokuta steel company thing. And she just said it now that Apabio told her husband, did you know your wife is going to speak with Mr. President? Stacey, what do you make out of that? Is Apabio now Natasha's chief security officer?
I wonder, why is he bothered?
Like, I think I'm just glad she did this interview. There is something about this thing that is not right. Apabio, I'm sorry, but that man seems to want to have his leg, his feet, in his say in everything. Because listen, you remember I said something that the way Apabio became the Senate president, it was all because of Tinubu. Apabio do not have what it takes to be the Senate president. The Tinubu made him Senate president. And if I have to go by what I know about how we move as Nigerians, when we have connection to a higher power, We don't want anybody we perceive to be below us to go over and above us to go and access that power. I think that is what is going on here. Mr. Dio, what's your take on this information here that Natasha is actually going to speak with Mr. President?
God bless you, sir. Exactly what I was thinking, because he may see that I'll talk directly with the president. President may come back tomorrow and say, okay, he's making now the new president. He's actually fighting for his own slot. He doesn't want to be overthrown because he knows that it took the president sheer benevolence to get him into that office. So the president, once the president is fascinated by somebody like Natasha that has support, that people like her, you can, things may happen. So I think it is more of a personal struggle to retain his position.
Yeah.
Any other thing.
And I think that may be part of the reason why Apabio want her gone from that Senate so fast. You know, there is something about women. Even as a president, if somebody like this Senator Natasha comes to your office, a young, bright, smart woman with all these credentials, a woman that just defeated a state dictator in Yaya Bello, a woman that has the support of her people, and she's well presented, she knows what she's doing. If she comes to your office as a president, first, you're going to see a lot of benefits around her. Not in the negative sense. You see benefit like, one, you can actually use this lady for your own political benefit. If you can win her over, she can speak on your behalf. People will buy it. So you saw what Tinubu did when she was running for president. Tinubu went for people who can relate with the masses. That is why he brought Ajonani. You remember that guy? He's former chief of communication. That's why Tinubu brought him into the campaign team. Because that guy can flow. He can speak. He speak good. He speak American English. So if Senator Natasha is going to meet with President Tinubu, trust me, in no time at all, Apabio will become irrelevant when it comes to anything surrounding Senator Natasha. And I think Apabio want that relationship gone as fast as he can. And remember, Natasha said, when Adiola still asked her on this interview, that what really happened at the beginning of the interview, Natasha said, people have been saying she was rude, she was rude, she was rude. But people are not paying attention to the statement made by the Senate president that even at the first instant when she was trying to raise that, what do they call that, is out of standard, or what is it when they want to interject? Mr. Dyer, what do they call that thing for Senate? Is it something raising an order or something? A point of order? Yes. She said, yeah, point of order. So she said when she raised a point of order, Apabio already said from beginning, Clark, prepare a suspension. So it seems they got so much going on in there than what we are seeing ordinarily. And remember, this president, Tinubu, no said anybody father. Tinubu want to be president in 2027. And he's ready and open to anybody that can help him to get there. And remember, the more people Tinubu have access to, the more irrelevant people like Wike and Apabio becomes. Even right now, I think Apabio is already a liability to Tinubu at this point in time. But anyway, let us continue.
Other things I have met in person. So I do not have a hostile relationship with the president. Even though I'm in opposition, I keep telling people, the people of Kogi Central voted me to work as a senator, not to go out there, antagonize and create enmity. And neither is also important for me people to know that my issues are with the Senate president himself, not the Nigerian Senate, not the institutions, and not the presidency. But it's unfortunate that he's wielding things to entrap.
If you're 55 or over, did you know you could leave your loved ones with an inheritance of up to $300,000?
CC.
Uncle Ben.
But like I said, it's important. I'm glad that you've given me this chance to tender things. But let's go back to the text now. what followed. People want to know, why did I delete my credentials from her page? So let's go back. The message she wrote there, after 4 hours of our conversation, she went, "Dear Senator Natasha, I hope this message finds you well." No, please, go back. No, still scroll up. Yeah. "I hope this message finds you well. I would like to understand how you would like me to proceed in assisting with your case," mind you, the sexual harassment case, "including the specific outcomes you intend to achieve and the timeline you have in mind. Additionally, please let me know if you would like to formally engage my services or support my team in executing the strategy we have carefully put together to resolve this matter effectively." Now, Nigerians should pause and listen. Just let's think. If actually she said that what I deleted was me offering her 200 million to blackmail the Senate president, why is she talking about resolving this matter effectively? All what she said, if I had castigated the presidency, talked about destroying the Yoruba tribe or the Yoruba government, then subsequent messages from her should have been in tune of what we had discussed. But here she's presenting herself as a mediator. She wanted to assume a role of mediating between the Senate president and myself on sexual harassment. And then she was asking for a contract. Please, let's continue. Then she said further in the second paragraph, "Please feel free to speak with me confidentially. I value discretion and professionalism. I would prefer to handle matters directly rather than through intermediaries." I don't know who the intermediaries are, maybe my friend who introduced us. "For this reason, I have not shared any details with the individual who contacted me regarding a media appearance on your behalf. I approach cases differently, maintaining strict boundaries to ensure the best possible outcome. Let me know how you would like to proceed. I am here to support you." Please, can you scroll down? She wrote all nice. Let people see the last part. "I'm here to support you." Just pause there. If actually I called her and I was poaching her to bring down the government, to destroy people, to destroy the Senate president, I've called Nigerians gullible and hungry. So why was she being patronizing and nice? Let's think. But when I saw that, okay, it was after the second, I wasn't on my phone then, so she continued. After like an hour, she continued, "Would you be open to a closed-door negotiation involving you, your husband, and Senator Apabio to bring a resolution to this matter if it comes to that? If so, where would you prefer such a meeting to take place? Sometimes strategic negotiations are necessary to untangle complex situations. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this." She was still pushing me, presenting herself as a mediator, as all of that. Mind you, she has told me she was a professor of psychology or human psychology. So I know that had the word psychology or sociology. I know she was a professor of one of them. So at that point, I paused and I called my friend.
Professor of psychology.
To her, I called Ina. And I said, "Ina, she mentioned something about the contract. Is that did you have that conversation with her?" He said no, that he only told her that I was going to call her to appreciate her and have like a girly chat. And I was like, okay, but she's asking for a contract. And she's asking how I was going to support her team. And I was like, okay.
Book on dollar.com to get our lowest rates.
Why are you in my house?
Well, Sisi.
Ignore that.
I'm here,
That
Uncle
she never
Ben.
messaged. But did you ask her about a media appearance?
Just say, Sisi, I have YouTube Premium, but not with this Uncle Beno channel account. All right.
Yeah, because she was writing so well. So he thought she might want to appear on a TV station, maybe channels or AIT or Arise, and speak about her concerns, because she had written previously that she was also a victim of sexual harassment and her daughter also. So maybe she want to learn the voice. That was all. He didn't ask that it's going to be paid or anything. So that was where I now responded. Please just show my response. You can see I refer to her as professor, not just Sandra or something. I thought I was speaking to a professor. So
anytime, I'm sorry. Anytime Natasha said I refer to her as a professor, the thing they made me they laugh. Dear Senator Natasha, you just got scammed. I'm sorry.
here I responded, Dear Professor, I have had to read your message times over, and I am not comfortable going contractual. My friend Ina probably connected with you on the passion he saw you speak against the injustice meted against me. While I continue to count on your kindness, which I trust will, amidst others, snowball into justice for women everywhere. However, if you stop chatting our cause, know I still deeply appreciate your sisterhood spirit, and whenever I return to the Senate or wherever I find myself, know you have a friend and a cheerleader in me, love. That's to show you. From this, I made her understand that I wasn't going into any contract. I only called her to appreciate her because of what she's been doing. And our conversation was not in any way in furtherance of an activity, not to talk of an illicit activity. From here, you can tell. And mind you, I have downloaded all of this whole conversation, and I've sent it in a digital form as well as printed these messages to all the security agencies in Nigeria. I'm actually surprised. That's why I said that the police never looked into this. Instead, they are listing her as a witness against me over a criminal defamation, someone that was pushing me for a contract that I said no. I'm actually surprised the Senate president fell for this scam, because he would have been smart enough to say, no, you know what, I'm not in. Because at the end of the day, I didn't think there was a reason for me to pay anybody. Everybody who has spoken, I never paid anybody anything to speak up. I've watched people across our platform, even people from Labour Party, even many APC members themselves who stood up and say, you know what, they are APC, but they stand for Natasha against sexual harassment. I didn't have to pay anybody. So let's continue. Go back again. So you can see from here, I clearly told her that while I'll continue counting, that I wasn't ready to engage her contractually, that I would trust that she will continue advocating. But even if she stops because there's no contract, it is fine. I appreciate what she's done before, and she should know that I have the sisterhood bond with her. But that didn't go down well with Sandra. Sandra, she is now Professor Mbeke, as I thought she was. So she continued, Dear Senator, I appreciate your message and the sincerity behind it. Let me make one thing absolute clear. There is nothing contractual or monetary about officially engaging me to handle what I have been doing, already been doing voluntarily. Please explain that to me as a lawyer.
I'm so sorry.
Yes, okay. Explain that to me. At that point, she's trying to wind my intelligence. No, still go back. Okay, I'm trying to wind my intelligence that I should go ahead, that engaging her in writing contractually does not amount to monetary. And I'm so glad I didn't do that, because I bet you, even if I had say, I'm trying to understand the nature of the contract. Yes, dear Professor Mbeke, I engage you to mediate in me and blah, blah, blah. This lady would have slapped me with a bill of $500,000 or $1 million. Only God knows if she had that. But immediately I sensed it when she was playing that a contract would have, everybody knows a contract will amount to remuneration at the end of the day. So here she said, there is nothing contractual or monetary about officially engaging me to handle what I've already been doing voluntarily without even needing to discuss it with you first. My work in addressing injustice has never been about personal gains, but about clarity, coordination, and commitment to the cause. Formalizing an engagement is not about transactions. It's about ensuring proper communication, alignment, and efficiency in tackling the very issues we are fighting. Again, you will see, this is a woman who came up to say, my deleted messages were all about destroying the government, destroying the Senate president, doing all of those things. Nigerians, I know we're very smart people. you can tell here that if indeed I spoke to her about paying people or about destroying the government or about or offering her 200 million to blackmail the Senate president into some murder, you would have seen that in the conversation. But here she was putting herself as a mediator, seeking an engagement for her to continue what she said she has been doing voluntarily. And what was she doing voluntarily prior to this was advocating for women against sexual harassment. So our conversation was on sexual harassment, and never did I tell her there was no sexual harassment. So that's it. Again, she said, regardless of where this part leads, that's the last paragraph. Okay, no. Hold on, before then, I skipped one part. I respect your stance, even if I believe that a structured approach would have made things smoother and more effective. That said, I will continue to do what I'm known for, standing against injustice and misinformation, adhering to facts, and maneuvering sensitive matters with a critical but fair lens. My stance is independent, and I take full responsibility for my actions. How you choose to engage with that is entirely up to me. That's up to you. Regardless of where this path leads, I know that my fight is not for individuals alone, but for the larger cause of justice and truth. I value the connection we built. And whether or not I continue to chat this particular cause, which is of sexual harassment, I will always stand where integrity and justice demands. She wrote that. After, I didn't respond, but I read it. But after 7 minutes or so, she wrote again. I don't think this is the right path for me. I thrive best when I operate independently, guided by my principles and convictions. At the end of the day, all that matters is achieving a just and positive outcome, and that remains my ultimate hope. So at that point, I was like, you know what, let me just end this, because I already began to feel very uneasy. So I now wrote to her, and this was my last message to Sandra, or Professor Mbeke then, as I thought she was. I wrote, Madam, I respect your independent views. Maybe we can forget we interacted. I will caution my friend Ina, my friend who connected us, to guard his heart in seeking help. God bless us. God, that was my message. Look, from here you could tell that
Listing your vacation rentals on Booking.com opens the door to more guests, like this bunch.
This was the same day. All this conversation was just one day, 27th of March. So
All right. We are getting to the juicier part, but I need you, my panelists, to help me describe something here. How do you describe this type of engagement that started on a good note and within few hours it went sour? Honey babe, can you describe this thing at all? They started on a good note. They were gonna go after Apabio, who is sexually harassing her. Everything looks good, and suddenly, boom, it went south. How can we describe this kind of behavior?
I don't know what you want me to say, to be honest. Because I haven't been paid it.
Because you, my sisters, you always have grammar to qualify everything now. The fire is about to start. When I play the rest of the video now, you will see when Ubeke begin to show how Ubekenizing she is. So I just wanted to know what kind of relationship.
I think you just have to be. It goes back to the earlier stuff I said before. I think the problem I have is that we need to be very careful in terms of our personal business and our data. And I think for me, someone contacted me with a Twitter. I'm very careful of how I engage with people. You can tell me that you're the King of England. I'm going to be very careful. I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to do due diligence. I've heard what you said. I will do my due diligence before I have the next conversations. I'm not going to unravel my whole being, my whole everything in just a couple of hours. And it comes back to due diligence. Because I think, like I said, definitely because we're very aware of data and GDPR, like CC said, you don't just unravel your business. There's no way I'm putting my certificates, my degree, my national insurance, which is the UK, my passport details, my driver's license, my certificates of my GCSEs, my A levels. I'm not going to put them on a website or give them to someone because I just spoke to them within a couple of hours. It's using, to me, due diligence as well as common sense. And that's where I'm coming from. So by safeguarding your information and data, which is very, very important in this AI data kind of generated era, you have credit where they have your details. They have details of you regarding your mortgage payments. There's so much data out there on you as a person. You need to be very careful who you give your information to. And I think it comes down to the fact that this happened because she didn't do her due diligence. Like I said, people text me all the time on Twitter because of the nature of my business. I'm very careful, when I speak to people, and very quickly you kind of get an impression of the type of person they are. Very quickly you can get the impression this person's not legit. You block, you delete, it's over.
So that's why their communication is breaking down so fast.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't pay attention because I had to do a few things, but based on the little that I saw, I'm looking at the screenshot of the messages. It unraveled very, very quick. Yes, she was excited that someone was on her side and someone was interested, but her being a lawyer in that mindset, it doesn't make sense to me why she wasn't careful and didn't ask pertinent questions before she unraveled all her because to what is sensitive information, this sensitive information, because all this information definitely in the diaspora, that's what they use to clone your details, apply for credit, and all sorts of nonsense based on those sensitive data such as your birth certificate, the age, and etc. It doesn't make sense to me. I know that it's Nigeria. It doesn't make sense to me why someone would unravel that quick. It doesn't make sense to me.
No problem. But would you agree that the mention of contract is what actually sent their friendship to the gutter so fast? I think the moment she mentioned contract, that's when Natasha woke up like, what the heck is going on here?
Absolutely.
Do you think
but
that's
I think the question is, correct me if I'm wrong, like I said, I didn't pay attention, why do you need a contract? People can come out with contract to make sure, people want to be clever and say contract. For me personally, she's not a solicitor. Now tell me if I'm wrong, but the impression I got is when I saw the scammer lady talking, she was saying something to the effect of that you have to instruct her. I'm paraphrasing, so I haven't got the wording correct. You would need to instruct me, i.e. contracts. That's a trigger warning to me, because why do I need to instruct you, mate? Do you know what I mean? So already it doesn't make sense. And for me, the way that in any business you have a initial conversation, and then you now give them your documentation if you are a professional business, whether it's your terms of business, whether it's your website details, whether it's your company prospectus. They look at that, and then you have the next conversation where you talk about terms of agreement, and you give them the data protection, the GDPR statement. You now give them your privacy statement. That's what we do in the UK. I can't speak for anywhere else. So that there's due process before you start talking about terms of business or contracts. So I think for me, when someone's chatting to me on WhatsApp and then telling me about contracts, I'm not taking you seriously. Because why they're not talking on a legitimate email, like a business email? If the scammer lady was legit, I'm not going to call her by her name because she's a scammer. So all these things to me are red flags, because for me, you're not talking over WhatsApp or whatever when it's a legitimate business. You would talk over a legitimate email, whether it's a business email that you have. You see what I mean? So for me, it just seems to me there's a lot of red flags. No one is talking to me on WhatsApp and then there's a contract being involved. I'm not going to take you as a legitimate business.
Yeah, thank you.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got it. And moving from that to CC. CC, this contracting, what's your stand on it? Do you think that contract is what wake Senator Natasha up that I think I'm dealing with a scammer?
Yeah, absolutely. Because if my friend has said, oh, speak to this person, they've been liking and sharing your posts, I think they look like an advocate, you know, they're on your side, reach out to them just to show appreciation. I call you, I say, oh, Brother Ben, thank you so much. I really love your support. You now start talking about, oh, okay, to engage me, you need to do contract. First of all, I'll laugh you off the phone because what am I engaging you to do exactly? I haven't reached out to you, like Honey Babe said, for any professional or legal advice or, you know, anything like that. She's not a mediator. I've not solicited her to be a mediator for this on this Apabio. She doesn't have any reach. Nowhere in that conversation did she say, oh, I personally know Apabio, or I know somebody who knows him, that I can speak to somebody who at least I know somebody who will be able to make him calm down so that this situation can be quelled. Or she didn't say anything like that. So what am I soliciting you? What am I paying you? What am I contracting you to do exactly? Right. Of course, that's going to be a wake-up call for Natasha, because one minute the conversation was appreciation, how we can collaborate. The next minute you're trying to send me a bill. A bill for
Imagine.
What?
Contract.
A bill for what? Somebody I didn't even reach. I didn't even engage in the first place. I'm just doing a courtesy call, by the way. Okay, through a friend that said call this person, tell them thank you. Now you're trying to bill me. Like, sis, what are you trying to do? Like, stop.
Yeah,
real?
You see, I think there's a valuable lesson people can take away from that interview. For those who might not know, for me, I always said this: I am not a lawyer, but I don't mess around lawyers. I don't mess with lawyers because lawyers can mess you up if you don't know what you're doing. And one of the things that makes me to wake up whenever I'm doing any transaction with anybody is when I hear contract. When I hear contract, I see lawyer. I'm sorry.
Can I say something?
Even in business.
Sorry,
yeah, go ahead, Honey Babe.
Sorry, CC can correct me, but the nature of my business and in the UK, they're very, very strict on cold calling. In the UK, if you now decide to call out of the blue, obviously the angle was, oh, I appreciate you. But for you to just call someone and then you want to solicit business, that's cold calling. It is illegal in the UK. So already that's a red flag. If you're calling me out of the blue.
It's not illegal in the US, so they call me every day.
Yeah. Like I said, I know here it's frowned upon and you can be reported. If you cold call, you can be reported to the ILC, which is the Information Commissioner Officer for Data. You're not allowed to cold call. So the whole thing of like suddenly soliciting for business when you've not actually agreed or consented for someone to contact you. The way it works in the UK is that if I want to talk to someone about my business, I can't cold call them. It's a conversation, and then they have to consent for me to have their email or telephone number. And then based on that, on the consent, I can now have a phone call and then obviously solicit for business. So even the idea that you've appreciated someone, that's the angle you've contacted that person. And then all of a sudden you've gone left and you now want to bring out a contract, to me is a red flag to me and to anybody else, because you're soliciting for business and I've not instructed you. I'm just saying thank you for appreciating me, and next thing you're saying, listen, oh, can we sign a contract? That's a red flag. And you know, I'm glad that she woke up, but she should have woke up a lot sooner.
All right.
And even if just to put this out there, for, you know, some people you might get, for example, she's a public figure, right? You're taking an let's say she was a legitimate business person. You have an opportunity presents itself. Any good businesswoman will take that opportunity to say, oh, you know what, I really want to engage in this thing. It's just the way that she went about it. You haven't built that relationship, and the fact that it was still, I think they were only WhatsApping each other. You weren't, you didn't set up a meeting. The way she went about it was already very shady, because even if she had been a legitimate person that wanted to help Natasha, she should have said that, you know what, I feel like let's have a meeting, let's set up a meeting, let's have a call, or send me your information for your PA, send me your information for whoever, let's get something booked in. That's how normal people maneuver business business and interactions. This
Exactly.
very ghetto local way of WhatsApping each other and then you're sending me contracts. To me, I'll just be
Yeah,
like, you're not
it's
even,
ghetto.
you're not, it's a very crass way of doing business. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
take you seriously, even if she had been a legitimate business person, because I just feel like you're not doing things the proper way. Set up a meeting with me and then say, okay, can I have a meeting with you? I have this thing that I would like to present. Maybe I can take this thing forward for you in such and such a way. Okay, cool. Let's set up a meeting. Let's discuss what your proposal is. And then talk to me about if she then came like, okay, this is my services. This is my contract. If you're happy to sign, read my contract. That's a completely different interaction. Completely different. But the way she did it was just not the right. It wasn't needed in that moment because she had not even established a relationship. Speaking to somebody for 10 seconds and then you're saying, I'll send you contracts. From where to where? When?
Thank you.
When?
Thank you, Sissy.
Yeah.
Sister,
I mean, yeah, there's definitely a way to go around things. Yeah.
Honey babe, hold on. Auntie Grace is here. Sister Grace, what's your take on this contracting?
Hey, Auntie Grace.
Good evening, Sissy. Good evening, honey babe. Simbi.
Hello,
Good
Sister
evening,
Grace. Hope you're good.
everyone. Good evening, Uncle Benno.
Good evening, ma.
Thank you. You guys have been from the reef farm, wherever. Oh my God, well done, Sissy. You've been on since.
I swear.
Anyway,
I had Uncle B's time today.
yeah. Yeah, the contract thing actually, like Honey Babe and Cece has said, I think the period they spoke wasn't actually too much. When you get on the phone, before you know it, 30 minutes is gone.
Yeah.
It's just that Natasha has gone ahead to give out those documents which she was not supposed to. She only called her to appreciate, like the friend said, oh, this woman, this is a woman, even though with all her qualification, with everything, the thing that has been going on in her head recently has actually made her vulnerable. It's like anywhere I can say, oh, I'm in support of Natasha, she wants to grab it. Just like the way she came on Abiola's show.
Yep.
Anybody that is saying, I'm on your side, I can help, I think she wants to listen to. That's exactly what dragged her to Sandra.
To Professor Mbeki.
And while they were now talking, she was beginning to realize what was happening. I think she had already made that mistake of sending those documents. That is the only way I'm kind of like, why did you have to do that? It's a lesson we all have to learn before we start talking about ourselves, before we start talking about our family, before we start talking about things that are not actually not supposed to be exposed. We have to ask ourselves questions. If I drop it now, where will it go to? Will it count against me? Will it work against me? Who am I sharing with? We need to ask ourselves those questions before we actually say something. Are we hurting someone? Are we hurting ourselves? Are we hurting our children? You know, we need to ask those questions, obviously. And I thank God that at that moment, he realized, what am I signing contract for? This woman is not actually here to help me like she claimed. Contract actually mean a reward.
Yes.
She's here for money. She's here for something. I think that was when she now realized, no, I can't continue with it. It's unfortunate. So I don't think there was any need for contract. They were not talking business. You are not talking business. What contract are you signing? There was nothing, whether arranging for a meeting or anything. What are you arranging for a meeting for, if at all? This woman only called you to appreciate, oh, I heard you supporting this cause. And then all of a sudden, you're requesting for a contract. I think that was when it actually dawned on Natasha that I am in for it.
Yes. And I think Professor Mbeke is using a format. In Nigeria, where we talk about Yahoo boys, we talk about formats.
I think she's very good, because when you listen to that white girl, she's very good because that white guy actually emphasized on how good she can be, how she will claim she's this, she's that, every little thing. Oh, God bless you.
Bless you.
Then
Yeah.
you will think she's the most polite and the most kind person on earth. I think she has a way of eating into people the way she is. And before you realize it, I'm even happy that Natasha actually realized within the 30 minutes that they spoke. Some people, it could take them on and on and on before even realizing. I think that contracting actually hit her, and she realized, no, this is not the right person I should be talking to with this kind of a thing.
Okay, thank you.
And she didn't get the contract, so she pulled out. Yeah.
The contract is how she wanted to strike,
Yes.
When scammers wanted to like scam you, they start with introduction where they get to know you, try to sounds nice, seems to be on your side. I think they will say they would disarm their victims. So the victim now begin to see them like, oh, he's friendly, he's nice. Oh, she's cool. We were just talking like we'd be friends forever. And then gradually the victim will let down their guards. And by the time they've gathered enough information, they'll now begin to move on to the next level, which is after the introduction, they now begin to lay the trap. So when they start laying the trap, they will be suggesting things and it will be sounding fine. It will look lucrative. It's just like in business too. Oh, they call you up. Hey, there is this land. Oh, after they have complimented you, they say, hey, yeah. Hey, I wish we have been speaking from last week. There is this land. The land is kind of cheap. And somebody just bought two of them. I think there is still one left. Hey, yeah. Hey, nice somebody like you is the one supposed to buy this land. Because this person has been speaking to you like a friend, like somebody you've been dealing together for a long time. You let down your guards. You just feel like, oh, that's so nice of you. There is a land. Where's the land? How much does it goes for? Actually, that land it's go for 100 million right now. But they said they were doing a promo. One of my friends work in that company, and my friend is saying that they have a 50% promo going on. I can actually talk to my friend if you are interested in the land, though, And then the more interest you show, then they introduce something else again. Oh, now that we are speaking about the land, actually, there is something called interest payment. Like, if you can just send maybe $2,000, we can use that to start the whole process. Don't worry. The person who gave my number to you knows me. They trust me. We'll be doing this forever. That's how they go and execute their plan. It's called format. What she's doing is that she got to know Natasha through introduction. She used all her charms, everything. Natasha felt safe with her. And then they start going into her business. Oh, this sexual harassment, how we are going to do it, blah, 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 blah. And I think Natasha, even though Natasha is not telling us everything that happened between them in this conversation, I'm sorry, but that's just what I'm getting. I think Natasha actually confided in her, speak lately, just like Sissy was saying, she overtalk. So she might have said a lot, and then Duru start feeling like, okay, I think I've got her. Okay, now that this conversation is like this, how do I get my money? This lady, they suffer for US. Let's call it what it is. She, with those records that white man reviewed, this is not somebody who is making legit money in US. She needed money. So all the conversation, if that conversation did not end in how she's going to make money, she hasn't made anything. And that's why she started talking about contract. If Natasha had given her the go ahead, oh, sure, you're helping me. Set up the contract. Send it to me. You don't finish you. Now that contract, now if I not be caught, we go now blackmail, she go to blackmail Natasha. That's just my opinion anyway. Now blackmail, she go to blackmail Natasha by now. Anyway, let's listen to when the conversation went south. This is the fun part.
You guys only spoke once?
Only once.
Okay.
And the only time I spoke with her, 37 minutes. If you scroll back, you will see 37 minutes. It was nothing controversial. It was, we even ended it by saying at the end of all of this, We're going to join forces, her in America with her network, and myself in Nigeria with my experience and her experience, how we're going to create safe spaces for women. I did mention to her that I noticed that the Senate rules was silent on sexual harassment and on how to resolve matters among senators. I also told her that I had received lots of calls from women in NNPC, in other organizations, in banks where they were sexually harassed and demanded sexual favors before their promotion.
Natasha said a lot
told
of
her
things.
that, look, I think Nigerians public and private spaces need to have the sexual harassment codes. And that is something we would work together with her experience as an international figure, which I thought she was. I didn't know that she's not even a professor. I didn't know that she's not even a doctor. You know, it's later on I got to know. So that was our conversation. It wasn't what is being painted. So even you've seen, like, look at it. At this, my second message to her was, Madam, I respect your independent views, because she had mentioned several times she works independently, and I was like, there was no way I was going to engage her. There was no way we were talking about mediation. Our matter at that point was still at the ethics committee level, and this was before the presidential panel was set up. So I said, maybe we can forget we interacted. At that point, I was like, I don't even want to have any conversation with you. So if, as she said, that I engaged her, or I was trying to pay her 200 million to entrap the Senate president into some murder and all of that, I wouldn't have. I'm the one here that's calling. You could tell from my response, I was trying to end it with her. I wasn't having it because I had already sent. This was when I went back and I deleted all because I realized that this lady is a scam. She's probably a blackmailer. So I went back there and I deleted my credentials. That was what prompted me to delete my credentials. And I'm saying it again. Nobody can type 15 messages in 1 second, in 1 minute, 15, not even AI. I mean, if you want to hold ChatGPT and go, ChatGPT, create a message on so, before you get to the third one, maybe back and forth on ChatGPT, you would have, at least you would have seen the time would have gone to 12:41, 12:42, 12:45, you know, to show that there's a sequence of timeliness. And I bet you nothing like that. It was my credentials I sent because she wanted to make a post countering what Senator Nwaboyne said, that I am just a pretty face. Why think that I'm the most beautiful woman in Nigeria and all that? And I told her I didn't like the fact that I was reduced as an object. Do you understand? I wanted to be addressed as a competent technocrat, a woman who is a lawyer, who is an MBA executive, who had worked in the oil and gas sector and now joined politics. And all of this was what I was bringing to the table politically in raising the standard of leadership. That was the conversation we had. That was why I sent my credentials. But when things turned ugly, still the same day, about 10 p.m., I knew that I had to go back to delete my credentials. And that was the last time I spoke to her. But what happened after that snowballed into her, apparently, probably she thought she was going to entrap me into some contract, make some money from me, and she wasn't getting that. So let's continue. The next thing, she was sending me screenshots of how people were making comments, still trying to entrap me, like, Natasha, people are making comments, we need to act kind of thing.
See?
So she then wrote again,
urgency.
I respect your perspective, but let's approach this matter with fairness and objectivity. The pursuit of justice will never be reduced to emotional game or dismissed as distraction. If Senator Natasha claims to have evidence, I don't know whether she was sending this to me or she responded and she was letting me know what she had responded. But basically, you could see that her tone was already changing. Still the same day. This was already just a few minutes to, still the same day, about 10 something. An affidavit, while not substantial or blah, blah, blah. Let me see. Yeah, it's still a legal document that carries weight. So basically, she was just responding to somebody's message. She wrote that this has birthed unheard screams, a handbook for all our children to educate them on how to handle similar situations. And here, this word got me. At the beginning of my conversations, the woman told me she has already written a book and she has sent me a forward. If you look at that first 2 screenshots, she said she had written a book on heard screams and she was in the course of publishing the books. And here,
Instead of calling in favors from those distant relatives, Sam and Jenny.
Cousin Mikey.
I'm your ride. Hello.
Later on that same night, she's telling me that my scenario has birthed a book that she said she had written before. Now she's saying my situation had made her write a book. So at that point, I already knew that I was dealing with a psychopath.
Did you get that?
I didn't respond.
Did you get that? I just told you now, guys, that the way this Ugbeke operate, you can tell that something is really wrong with her. And I think somebody mentioned it earlier. Is it mom of 5? That she need to go and get her head checked. You are speaking with someone and all of a sudden it's now boiled down to you have written a book out of her situation. From when to when? Ugbeke. Hey, God, I beg you.
And then in response to my message where I said, let's forget that we spoke, she now responded, of course, good luck. You could see it now became a monologue where she was responding. So probably she was having conversations in her head. Probably she's schizophrenic. So she then wrote, heaping more enemies through lack of understanding and arrogance, yet you have said so much. I didn't understand where that was coming from.
Wow.
Then she...
Sister Rose, you hear that? Yeah, Sister Grace, did you hear that?
Yes. Did you hear me say, wow?
Are you guys getting that?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Continued, you have an appalling spirit of pride, and such is certain to drag anyone it possesses into sure doom, no matter how long it takes. I read it, I didn't say anything. I called my friend, I'm like, why is this woman acting this way? It's like she's having conversations, or is she building a line of chat so to seem as if I'm speaking to her and then she's responding? So my friend told me that she was actually forwarding these same things to him too. That, oh, your friend has an appalling spirit of pride, it's not going to help her, blah, blah, blah. I didn't respond. So forward 3 days after, mind you, the first conversations that I've read happened, it was just a tough day from 10 o'clock in the morning when we spoke till about 10:43 p.m. So 3 days after, which was on Sunday, the 30th of March, she just sent this message. I had all your threats, but I have zero tolerance for such nonsense. Bring it on. I didn't speak to her. I didn't send no threats. I was minding my business. So I was surprised she wrote that. I didn't respond again.
Let me just say what I think was happening here. I think after their communication broke down and she went into this manic approach, probably the person that linked them together was kind of warning Professor Ugbeke that, do you know who you are dealing with? This is Senator Natasha. Do you know she's a strong woman? If you don't back down, this might happen, that might happen. And whatever that person is telling her, she's using the opportunity of having Senator Natasha's phone number to now reach out back to Senator Natasha to start sending her all these messages. It's just my take. That might not be what really happened.
She now wrote a very long, I don't know if I wrote, very long. This is where I knew that, okay, she was already turning against and trying to blackmail me. Made a post, I said this, I said that, and I heard that this was what she forwarded to someone who works with the Senate president, and this was how she was able to get them engage her. This was what, this was it. This was the last, when she sent this last message, that was when I blocked her. So I blocked Professor Ugbeke.
Wala. And I don't think she's taking that blocking well.
Of March. I blocked her. I went to Facebook. I blocked her same day. I didn't converse with her on Instagram, but I searched her up, blocked her there. I can't remember if I blocked her on X, on Twitter, but I knew that at that point, I already heard so much, and I was like, you know what? All of this stuff, I was just blocking, because I knew that she was already up for blackmail. And she was probably looking for a bidder, someone who will engage her services. So that was it. You can see I blocked her that day. So Nigerians should know I spoke to a woman who impersonated herself as Professor Mbeki, not Sandra Duru. And it was an innocent conversation whereby I had to call her based on my friend's advice, a good innocent friend who thought it was wise and safe. Our conversations were not in any way along the path of destroying the government or promoting regional divide or saying that I bought a rice. Can I buy a rice? Or that I influenced FIDA or Dr. Obi with money or Dr. Abiola of Manifesto. Nothing like that. Or I called Nigerians gullible and hungry. Nothing, never, never. It was just a game, a plan to cut me off my support and set me against the president, the institutions, and the Nigerian people of whose support I've generously enjoyed by the grace of God.
Okay. I think this is 1 hour, 27 minutes. I might continue the show tomorrow. But to round up today's episode on this Senator Natasha saga, I want to kind of ask one question. Sisi, not the kind of question you think I'm going to ask you, because you are already emphasizing that we ask questions that will bring back boost. That's not what I'm going to ask. A question I want to ask is this. At what point do you guys think Mbeki pinch herself on the Senate president? Like, at what point do you think Mbeki contacted the Senate president and say, sir, I got all you need to nail this big woman? Sister Grace and Honey Babe, any idea?
I think there's a place where Natasha said that, I don't know, I didn't get the chat there, where she said that is what Sandra forwarded to somebody who is close to Apabio. I don't think it was too long after their conversation. When she gathered those evidence, whatever she generated, she just sent it and then they bought it. So she started walking straight away from there because she knew that there was nothing she was going to get from Natasha. Exactly. And she moved just quickly to Apabio. And then they gave her audience. That was it. I don't think it was too long before she made that move.
Yes. Sisi, I was asking, at what point do you think Mbeki get in touch with Apabio and his team to say, look, I got something that might be useful against Senator Natasha? Do you think it's going to be like that very day or next day, or probably she took her time to say, okay, what can I do now? This woman has already blocked me. She's blocking me everywhere. Okay, I'm gonna get back at her. Because if you watch the live video Mbeki did, you can tell her she's on a personal mission against Natasha.
Absolutely. I think it probably took her a few days, and like any scammer, she's got to look for her next scam, right? One fish didn't work. So you got to change tactics. So how else? It's just seizing opportunities where she can. So definitely, she probably sat back and thought about it. And then maybe after a few days, maybe spoke to some people and then put her plan in action. But somebody like her, who is clearly a professional scammer, I said it from the first day when she had that meeting. She was there like her and Natasha had a personal beef. So actually, to find out that she doesn't actually know this woman from anywhere shows that she's got some kind of mental... something is loose in her head somewhere, because to really take this kind of is like the audacity of her to reject my offer. I don't know, maybe it's like grandiose complex or something, you know, because it's really not that deep. You didn't know this lady from... I was actually thinking that maybe they had a relationship, they knew each other, because I think on the first show when she came out with this thing, I said the way she set her camera and the energy that she had for Natasha is like, Have they had a fight? Do they know themselves from somewhere before? Like maybe friends that she's coming out to, now take the opportunity to get back at her. But now finding out that they never even knew each other, it just makes it all the more weird. That, so it's not surprising to me that this lady, as a scammer would do, move to the next tactic. And what better way? Go straight to the Apabio and try and sell her services. And obviously he took the bait.
Yeah. They knew for 30 minutes.
Exactly.
And describe her like she knew her the whole life.
Like, oh, we were sitting, she was telling me about her boyfriend. She was telling me, like, what the hell?
Oh my God.
How? The way she went about the whole thing, and I even feel so sorry for Apabio and his people now. You know why?
Sorry.
This same woman will blackmail them later. Mark my word. This same woman, this same Mbeke, she will blackmail them later.
Especially if she doesn't win.
She
will say, Afro, when I brought the matter to you, did you not do this? Did you not do that? Did you not say this? Did you not give me this? Yeah.
See, Auntie Grace, they withdraw her testament. About the testament, when they call that thing they put in court self. Yes, now it's testimonial now.
Testimonial,
they withdraw her testimonial out in the court. Even though I'm not a lawyer, I can already tell. With all these things that Natasha put out there, no judge, unless Natasha doesn't have a good lawyer, she's just going to be a useless witness in this case. And the moment her testimony doesn't hold water, she's not serving any good to the Apabio team. So that's why I'm thinking that even the Apabio, they've bought market right now. By the time they throw her out and she's useless, she will turn against them. Don't be surprised 6 months from now, if she start posting about Apabio, I say, the useless senator, he told me this, he used me that, blah, 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 blah. She's that kind of a person. Just take a look at her.
Of everyone. So now let's start with Natasha saying she does not know me. She has not called me before. And you will see her number here. I don't think I'm doing anything wrong by exposing her number because she said she hasn't spoken to me. So let's start with that. So I will start with, I don't know if people can somebody see this? Yeah. Can it be seen? Is it clear? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now I can move closer, right? Yeah. Okay, so I want to now, now let me go to, this is, that's March 27, the first ever call. I don't know this girl.
You see? Why is this person even blurring this video, this thing self?
The date, that's March 27, the first ever call. I don't know this girl.
You see her live? See the numbers on her call log and everything? Anyway, this kind of person, she will turn on Senate president and his team. Trust me. She go turn on them and they will be shocked. They will blame themselves for having anything to do with her. Thank you, AJ. AJ say, I agree with you, UB. She probably have gotten much from Apabio's camp. Of course, she have gotten a lot of money. But now with everything, now Diola be the next person where they go even the target now, Seth. Because Diola is the one that blew the whole thing out of proportion for them now. They actually thought they have a good case by saying Nigeria federal government against Senator Natasha. And now this same Sandra now go spoil the case for them. What rubbish. Anyway, we're gonna come back and continue the rest of it, but let me just have your final take. We've done 3 hours, 12 minutes already. Let me start with Honey Babe. Honey Babe, are you still here? Oh, you don't sleep, Seth. Honey Babe, go don't sleep.
I'm in and out. What's up?
Anyway, Honey Babe, we're gonna end it here. What's your final take, my sister?
I think it just shows, I think for me, it just shows that even someone of her level, it just goes to show that you have to be careful. I mean, I'm not disputing the fact that she was sexually harassed. It's pretty evident. For anyone to dismiss it, they have a screw loose. it's pretty obvious that she has been sexually harassed. That's how Nigeria can be, especially in the political environment. But in terms of what we're talking about, of this particular YouTube that you're talking about, it shows that the scammer, I refuse to call her by her name, she's obviously not normal. There's a lot of opportunists that we use the fact that, you know, Natasha unfortunately didn't do her due diligence, because like I said, someone cannot just contact me. I have a business set up, I have a lot of social handles, and I get a lot of people texting me. I am very, very, very careful how I respond. I'm very careful how I respond, and I do my due diligence. I will leave a message for 2 days until I've Googled them on LinkedIn before I respond to them. I'm very careful who contacts me. And as someone that is definitely of a higher profile, she should have done the same. When you mentioned professor, have we even confirmed that this scammer is actually a professor? I doubt it. So don't even give her that respect of calling her a professor. As far as I'm concerned, it's a lesson for all of us to be very, very careful who contacts us. Do your due diligence. And I think in terms of the Natasha, it's a learning curve for her, because in the stationary position she's in, especially being brought, according to what you said, she was brought up abroad, she should know better. You know, she should know better. I support her in whatever she wants to do. Go to court, sue their asses if you want to sue this scammer's ass if she wants to sue, and then show the receipts. Do whatever she needs to do in order to prove whatever she wants to prove. But I think it's a lesson for all of us. Don't just open your nyash for everybody to see your business, whether it's your data or anything. Be very, very careful and be aware that there's a lot of scammers out there like this scammer woman. That's all I have to say. Thank you, Brother Ben.
Thank you, honey babe. God bless you, and welcome back, our honey babe.
Thank you so much. Take care, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Nice, thank you. All right, Sister Grace, make I let you go. We don't hold you too long today. What's your final take, ma, with our Natasha, the Queen Mother herself?
I think Honey Babe has actually summarized the whole thing. It's just for us to be careful. Natasha needs to be careful. Yeah, we know she's vulnerable. We know she needs support. She just have to be like, I don't blame her too much, because she went with the intention of appreciating someone, and a call was put in, and then this is their talking. At that moment, what she could have done is like, okay, I have known you, I just need to speak to you, and then end that conversation before she will be able to research whom she is. Within that short space of time, she wouldn't have been able to research whom she is before giving her what she gave. So she could have just made, okay, I just needed to know you, do her research, and then come back. Giving out your document, your details, data protection is very, very important, especially in this part of the world, in the UK. You don't just give out anything without you knowing whom you want to give it to. So it's a lesson for us all to learn in terms of giving out our credentials, or taking people's credentials, or using people's sharing people's information without consent is very, very important. So we have to be careful whom we share these things with, and whom we speak to, and whom we talk to, and the kind of thing that we share. So it's a very, very learning curve for every one of us. Natasha is not here, but I'm sure she has actually learned. She had learned from this experience. So she's got to be very, very careful what she share and whom she speak to regarding this issue. I think that is, Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Grace. Thank you, my lovely Sister Grace. Have a good night rest too. Tomorrow, Sunday, we continue. And help us pray so that my sisters, they don't go start another bass boost tomorrow. They don't shock me and my brothers today.
You need to calm down with your coconut head, though, because when you triggered my sisters, oh my goodness.
Grace, I not do anything today. Now start this thing. Now only opinion me and people.
But you guys refuse to agree now, and they were in for it. I'm like, what?
Auntie Grace, they not explain now well. I go do one show, make the call explain that well. They did not explain it well at all.
Okay, I wish you luck. On that day, I will be watching from the background.
No, you will rescue me. Who go rescue me?
I will get no rescue at all.
Today, I'm like, waiting I enter. At the point I open my garage, I sit there, I look at the food, I say, what we say today now that everybody is just releasing back.
We assembled like Avengers.
Oh my God, like, you guys are still in this matter. What are you doing?
Oh my God. Thank you, Auntie Grace. Thank you, man.
Good night, everyone. Bye.
That was crazy. That was really crazy today. I never know what happened today. I'm still questioning myself. Cece, I really don't know what happened today. But before we get into that and let you go, what's your final take on Natasha first?
My final take is that Natasha, obviously, because of the situation, she's being very, I think she's not being focused, right? Which is understandable. She's going through a lot of stress. So for that reason, we'll let her off with this offense or not doing her due diligence. But just every other person, I think sometimes we can look at people's status, we look at their titles, and we just give them that benefit of doubt. But to me, everybody is not, there's nobody above suspicion. Okay, so it's really important to just do your due diligence on people, especially when you have something to lose. You have a status, you're a public figure, or even just as an average Joe. It's important, like Honey Babe was saying, your personal data, your documentation, things about your person shouldn't just be out there for everybody to have access to. So in that aspect, I feel like, we should all try our best to do our due diligence on certain things. And then with this Sandra lady, I'll be honest, in the back of my mind, I'm not really, the friend is just, I don't know. I'm still giving side eye to that friend, if I'm honest. It's not really clear the way that they brought this person to Natasha, but that's just me. Maybe I'm just overthinking it, right? But just generally, I think it's really important when you have issues like this to try and manage your circle, right? That way you will know who's for you, who's not for you. Even though she wants to garner the support, she wants all of these things can just be like she did before, a post, appreciate the people in the comments and keep it pushing. It's not everybody you need to try and collaborate with. And, because even now that this lady has been proven that she's not even who she says she is, it's a detriment to Natasha, maybe even her in terms of her credibility as well, in terms of her checking people, and it negatively reflects on her as well, liaising with this lady and being dragged in the mud with all of this nonsense. That really, if she had just liked the woman's post, appreciated her, and just kept it pushing with an Instagram message or a DM, this would never have happened. But in a way, there's a silver lining, as they say, in everything, because this woman went to her nemesis and they bought the bait. So only time will tell what their hand is, but clearly they played themselves with collaborating with this Sandra Duru person, and it's not going to be good for them in the long run, which at the end of the day helps Natasha's case as well. So we stand by Natasha. All the best to her. I just hope she's safe.
You are not standing with Ubeki. Why don't you support Ubeki?
No, I don't like women that, she had even if Natasha didn't want to take on board her services, let's just say she was legitimate, it doesn't warrant her to come out and say all she said about Natasha, discredit her, muddy her name. She just went too far. And women like that, nah, if they're not pick-me-shers, I don't even know what to class them. This woman she's not for women, and I'm not for women who are not for other women. Regardless, we should have a united front, have our argument in the back, but when we come outside, present as a united front. But no, she's not one of the sisters, so she can go to her Apabio. Since she caps for men so badly,
she can go to the wolves and enjoy them. Yeah.
Thank you, my troublemaker. Sissy.
You're welcome.
And Sissy, before I let you go, Sissy, please, the type of conversation you guys had in the backstage today, make una dey warn us any day when I won't get that kind of conversation. You are laughing. Shout out to my sister Natu. Sister Natu not even put mouth. Sister Natu left us to do all our basketball finish. Towards the tail end, that's why Sister Natu now step in. So, but I just want to say this, Sissy. Any day you, Sister Yinka, Marriott, who else was there? In fact,
Everybody, Didi. Everybody was there today. Even Didi came out. Huh?
Any day you guys know that you are ready to go after brotherhood, just warn us, say brotherhood today, make no talk nothing, no, and we will stay our lane. Okay, Ghana shared a post. She asked us, what do we think? All we did is to say, hey, Adana, this spec, this thing that this lady listed that she's looking for, she describing characteristics of non-living things. Oh, that is what Mr. Samolu said, that I don't think this is realistic. Lobaton. Then boom, everybody was just like, it is always you brothers that have
always
issue.
You brothers, though.
You want this, they say you want that. See, it
Uncle
is
Ben,
we
have to come back and
that
do the show
because
we've not dissected the story, the issue properly.
Sissy, don't worry. Any day I go to the gym, I lift weight very well, and I know I'm ready to take the bullet. We will do the show. But with my ordinary eye, I won't do that show, not me. Or if you can get my madam to give me shayo, make I drink ogogoro, maybe I can come and do that. But with this my clear eye that you are seeing, Sissy, I won't do that show. This one that I think the reason you guys just kind of pamper us small today is because it's the real fab. If we bring that to come public like this, people went on to know us before, they'll finish us. We are not having that conversation, Sissy. And again, before I let you go, Sissy,
go on.
I see you were saying something when I played the video I started with, and I thought you were going to call in that time and clear yourself. I started with this video here where Kate...
Man and woman. I created the man first, no doubt. Yes. But he took the woman. I always say this thing. Yes. Even pastors and churches, they are at fault on this thing. He brought the woman from the side. Yes. Not from the... Hold on, let me finish. Not from the top to head over the man. Yes. Not from under his feet to be beneath his feet. Yes. But beside to raise...
Sissy, I don't even need to... This Sister Kate is beginning to press my button now, and the problem is that I love her where I like her. She's one of the best women where I get for Niger, but they piss me off. She said, hold on, let me finish. Why would the woman tell me, hold on, let me finish?
But what she was talking.
But at least she shouldn't have said it like that.
What do you mean?
At least she should have said it respectfully. No.
She said, hold on, let me finish. She's playing.
No.
What did she say there?
She should have shout out to Sister Natu first. Sister Natu said, Apabio will pay anyone that has something against Natasha. I swear. And anybody go cash out for Apabio body right now. Apabio is not playing. So, Sister Natu, you are 100% correct on this one. But Sissy, look, 2 days ago we had a show here and we spoke about culture. Please, there is a manner and a tone a woman can speak from that we all know that she's making sense and she's establishing her boundaries and her authority. But when she said, excuse me, let me finish, that is like her saying, shut up, I'm talking. Sissy, talk to your gender, Sissy. I know say you no go talk again with Sissy, but I'm just saying, okay? Sissy, are you here? Sissy don't run. Thank God. Anyway, we're gonna come back and finish up with this. Okay, no problem, Sissy. We're gonna come back and finish up with this Natasha situation, and I think we still have a lot lessons to extract from this. Also, there is this news that is going around now. I think I will just do a video and share. You can come back and watch it later. There is this disaster that is boiling right now. I don't know if you see my screen. I'm going to do a show. I will post it and we can react to that. The person you see on my screen right now, that is the daughter of the governor of Akwa Ibom, Umoeno. The doctor is from his first wife, the former first lady, according to her. And the daughter is accusing her father of sacrificing her mom. Wahala deo. Another trouble is brewing. A daughter accusing her father of sacrificing her own mom. Yes, Auntie Grace. Father and daughter. How will this end? Is she saying that because she think her father neglected her mom? Or is she saying that because she has an issue with the current first lady? Or can she be saying the truth? Because I don't trust these politicians. So I'm going to try to investigate this, and I would just do maybe a 10 minutes, 20 minutes show on it, and I'll post it here. But the issue is ongoing right now in the Nigerian social media space. Akwa Ibom governor's daughter accuses father of sacrificing late first lady, alleges threats to life. So I will do a video, I will post it, and then we can speak on that. Cece, you are back.
Yeah,
I thought
sorry.
my baby
I
girl
had a call.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought my baby girl have took you away. So Cece, before I move to this, I was asking you that why is it that a lady who should have just told the man, "Oh, let me finish," she just say, "Excuse me, I'm talking." Is that not?
She didn't say I'm talking. She said, "Let me finish."
But the way she say it.
How did she say it? They're having a conversation. He's the one that's interrupting her. This is the problem that we have with you men. Is one rule for you guys, another rule for us women. We're having a conversation. We're having a debate.
Not like
they were
that.
not arguing. Yes,
listen.
Beside him to be fruitful, multiply, and bring children, and bring up children, and grow together. But
let me play it again from beginning. You will see the way she say it. That is not okay. Sissy, don't laugh.
Respect, you come again.
You
respect, you come again.
Don't laugh, Sissy. No, we Africans, we have to do better. Listen.
This thing, even pastors and churches, they are at fault on this thing. He brought the woman from the side, not from the. Hold on, let me finish. Not from the top to head over the man, not from under his feet to be beneath his feet, but beside, to reign beside him, to be fruitful, multiply, and bring children, and bring up children, and grow together. But Nigerian men, and even who have learned the hard way, when you leave these shores and go somewhere else, they show you people pepper.
When they get half.
When they, here, you people see women less than human. You see us as this to be treated. Even our laws, even our violence against person prohibition laws favors the man.
Everything favors woman now.
Look at where? A man is reasonably allowed to chastise his wife.
Go to any police station today. I have to fight
a man,
one at a time.
1 second. A man who marries a foreigner can get a passport for her, but a woman who marries a foreigner will go through loops before she can get the same passport.
Because our passports are valuable, Kate. We can't just give you our passport anyhow. You can't just go and bring any man to come and get our passport.
For our husband who is a foreigner in the same Nigeria.
Sissy, I don't want this sister Kate to trigger me now. But you see how she said, "My friend, I'm talking." Is that not somehow insulting?
She say that. She said, "Hold on, I'm talking."
Let me see what terminology fit what she just did. I mean, which one I don't learn from you ladies again?
Dismissive,
emasculated,
abrasive.
Stacy,
Abrasive, dismissive. Which one?
She emasculated him.
Oh, Uncle Ben, stop misusing trending words now. You're doing too much. I emasculated him. We're having a debate. This person is over talking me. I can say, excuse me. I can say, hold on a second. Let me finish.
Okay, now see the way you say it. Hold on a second.
Because we're having a discussion. We're not having a heated exchange where emotions are. I mean, it's not really heated. I think everybody was just passionate. And as Africans, we get loud, we get rowdy, we get very into the conversation. I don't think she was being disrespectful, because her tone would have been different and her body language would have been different. It was just like, hold on, let me finish speaking. So many times we do that on this platform. People will be talking, we'll be like, oh, Uncle Ben, let me speak. Or so and so, let me. But if you're going to take offense to that, then it's better that you don't have collaboration with women. This overdoing of, what do you call it? Wanting respect in all angles. Come on. Really? Really?
Sissy, I am just trying to fight for my brotherhood.
No, it's not about brotherhood. They were just having a conversation. Everybody's just excited to give their point. There was nothing there that was really like, oh, to say she's emasculating him. I think that's a reach.
I'm trying to apply the terminology I've learned from you, sisters.
No, you can't misuse our terminologies in the wrong
So
context.
that is not emasculation. What happened there? What terminology do you use to describe that?
If you want to say anything, maybe she just shut him down.
For everything.
I'll say she just shut him down. But I don't think she shut him down. I don't even think she shut him down because the guy was still talking.
Oh, Sissy. Well, Auntie Grace say, do you even realize that's how Kate talks? That is her voice. I know, but the way she just snatched in somehow. That is her tone of voice during that conversation. Okay, I agree. But here's the last thing, Sissy. Help me, Sissy, please. Sissy.
Uncle
you know you are a very sweet sister.
Am I sweet?
You are a very fantastic sister. A very understanding woman.
Am I?
No, yeah, you are a very understanding woman. Please tell me, Sissy.
But this buttering up, I hope it comes with money. All these compliments. Let me send you my cash app.
No. I'm giving you the compliment because I want you to be in favor of brotherhood. For what I want to say next.
Go on.
So, Sissy,
yes.
Be candid, my sister. Why is it that people are dragging Nigerian men all the time? And you know, Africa has, is it 52 or 54 countries? And we have men all over Africa. Why do people just choose to drag Nigerian men? Why?
I think Simbi said it. I think Simbi said it last time. I think it's just because people mostly know you. I think, unfortunately, the Nigerians that came before some of you good Nigerians, they were the bad ones. Okay, with the 419, the love scamming, the hustling, the doing all sorts. Those men kind of set the precedent, and it's easy for people to recognize the bad rather than see the good in people. It's only now of late that things have turned and people are saying, oh, Nigerian men, like the culture, the way that Nigerians are influencing culture, influencing like fashion, influencing music. Now all of a sudden people are like, oh, Nigerian. Everybody wants a Nigerian man, right? There was a period of time before, forget about African, nobody would want to be associated that they're Nigerian, just because of the bad reputation that the few have done. And unfortunately, Nigerians are more than any other ethnic or other country, right? Uganda, we're not a big population. Nigerian, you have over how many 100 million? How many of those are men? Uganda cannot compare. So even if you met a black person in the West or wherever, you would just assume, oh, that person's Nigerian. Most people,
yeah.
In a lot of places, the African people that are there, if they're not Caribbean, they're Nigerian.
Yeah,
that's just the truth.
I agree with that statement. I think I read somewhere, maybe a post on Facebook or Instagram, where somebody said that some other Africans, they are claiming to be Nigerians and women are falling for them, only to find out later that they are actually not Nigerians. So yeah. I think you are right with that. Shout out to you, my sister Faith. How you doing, Faith? Faith said, "Is he marry? I thought the first daughter was the standing first lady of Akwa Ibom." Yeah, that's why I said I'm gonna dig into that case. Let me know what is really going on, because for a daughter to come out and accuse his father, who is a governor, of sacrificing her mom, that is a big allegation. Oh. But thank you, Faith. I will dig into it and see what I can come up with. But Sisi, as we're rounding up on this final note now, with this Nigerian men, that, would you say Nigerian men are really bad, Sisi?
Of course not. No one person, one ethnic group can be all bad. We've got bad, we've got good. But I say the good outweighs the bad. I always say when people are like, "Oh, you're a bad demon," I'm like, no, check your circle. I can say I've never met a Yoruba demon. That's not my experience. So I can't speak to that. That's not to say that they're not Yoruba demons out there. I just said I have not met any. However, that's not the experience of every woman. But I'm not going to tarnish every single man who is Nigerian as a Yoruba demon. It's ridiculous. So we can't. Yeah, go on.
The fine boy on my screen right now. You see the mozu, you see the tattoo, you see the glasses, everything. You know who he is?
Who's that? Isn't that what's that guy? The one that was with that Dami, the Dami girl.
Yes, that is Makalanki.
Makanaka.
Yeah, Makalanki.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. And now, would you say this brother is a devil? Yoruba demon? Why are you laughing? This is why you laugh.
If we put into our minds what Yoruba demon, if somebody can say, "Oh, I can picture Yoruba demon," he would be the poster boy for Yoruba demon. Unfortunately, it's not me that said it. I'm just saying that's what people they will say. Oh, good looking, fine boy, muscles, looks good, good dress sense, has a certain swag. That's how they come packaged. If his name is Femi, it's all over. If his name is Femi, it's all over.
See how long have you been running around with Yoruba people in the UK?
Too long.
You are a bad sister.
Even my partner says he needs to go and do my DNA because he's not sure that I'm Ugandan.
Oh, you're funny since he said he's a poster boy for Yoruba Demo. No, he's actually a nice brother, and much credit to him. Even though people think that he's hopping from women to women, Bola leaning on the wall doesn't do that. And
How can you vouch for him? Stop saying this.
You see, Nigeria is a very small community when it comes to infidelity, cheating, and men philandering and all that. If he's into all those crap, you would have seen it all over the place. I am not saying he's 100% not at least doing some random sampling, but I'm just saying that I think he still shows
he's in the
some
words
level
of
of decency.
he's womanizing, but he's not cheating.
See, why do you want to bring Mr. Dyer into this now? I actually know what. See. You need to understand that.
Womanizing, not cheating. Okay,
See,
I got you.
You should understand that about we Nigerian men. Actually, many of us Nigerian men, we womanize, but we don't cheat. And what Mr. Dyer was trying to describe.
Throw you all in the bin.
Sisi, let me explain now. Sisi, why are you like this? Let me explain in peace now. Why you did behave like this, Sisi? Okay, can I go ahead and explain now, Sisi?
Yes, please, go on.
Okay, so you see, we Nigerian men, we can womanize and not cheating. Let me explain. You see, when we say Nigerian men womanizes, we are simply talking about men appreciating women for their appearance, complimenting them, being friendly with them, and all that. But we are not getting to bed with them. So that is what we mean when we say, oh, he womanizes, Although womanizing connotes negativity. There is no difference between a man who's hopping from skirt to skirt and cheating, where we talk of, say, womanizing. But I'm just saying, in the frame of reference, within the context that Mr. Dio said, oh, he womanizes, but it's not cheating. What he was just describing is when we appreciate women, when we kind of compliment women and all that, but it doesn't really mean that he's cheating. Okay, so I believe you accept my explanation.
Let me correct the English. The grasp of English is lacking. Sorry.
No. Sissy, I explained it now.
What you mean to say is the right word you're looking for is not womanizing. The right word is you men are flirts. If you tell me African men are flirts, but they don't cheat, there's a big difference. Flirting, womanizing, and cheating are three different things. Womanizing and flirting is not the same thing.
Sissy, do you see Sister Natu comment? She said, Uncle Ben, stop it.
Exactly. You African men know how to flirt. They can be over familiar with women. They can be over friendly. Yes, that one does not mean that you because my partner is like that. He's not really a flirt, but he's a people person. So he can work the room, talk to you. Somebody will come and hug him. Somebody will do this, do that. If you're not a secure woman, you will think like, this man is disrespectful, or this man is like overdoing, or he's talking to women anyhow. He'll be laughing in one, but things like that, they don't bother me. I love it. If people like my man, I love it. That's not womanizing. Uncle Ben, get it right.
That is part of the Yoruba culture.
Absolutely, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, so we mix with people easily. We mix with people easily. We charm people easily.
That charming. The gift of the gab. We call it gift of the gab here. You have sweet words. My mom always says Yoruba men, they have sweet honey in their mouth. Right? Sweet mouth. Your mouth is sweet. They'll tell you sweet things, you'll cry later. But that does not mean that you're a womanizer. A womanizer is something different. A cheat is something different. Those three things are not the same.
Okay, so it's better to call somebody a flirt than a womanizer.
Absolutely, yes.
So what does womanizer do? In sisterhood, when you describe a man as a womanizer, what are the characteristics that qualifies a man to be a womanizer?
A womanizer is a man that moves around having casual relationships with lots of women, multiple women at the same time, back to back. No one is your girlfriend. Maybe you could be telling everybody that, oh, you're my babe, you're my girlfriend, you're my wife, you're my this, oh, you're our wife, that type of thing. But everybody's our wife. Then somebody who's a cheat, he has a partner and he will be cheating maybe with one person or whatever, cheating and stepping outside of that relationship. If you're a flirt, you don't fit into that category. You're not cheating, you're not womanizing, you're not carrying any of these women, you're not making false promises to them. You're just saying somebody, Uncle Ben, you're a flirt. Everybody's beautiful, everybody's your babe, everybody's your baby girl. Do you understand? That doesn't mean you're a womanizer.
So that means I'm a flirt.
You're just a flirt. Yeah, I think you're a bit of a flirt. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm just an uncle.
You're okay.
Sissy.
You know African uncles, their first thing is baby, I love you, baby, I love you, baby, hey, baby, I love you. Okay, if you want to be an uncle, be an uncle then.
Sissy, you are a bad woman.
Hey, baby, let me buy you car, let me buy you.
Now, baby, what you want, baby? Daddy is talking to you.
And he has 4 kids at home, wife at home.
We are trying to escape. We are trying.
I said you're a flirt. You want to be an uncle? Be an uncle. Go ahead.
I'm an uncle. I'm not a flirt to Sissy. I beg. Flirt. Hero. I don't flirt to. Remember, this is abroad. Here, when you are a flirt, you can easily go to jail. Sexual harassment is around the corner. Please. No, I am just an uncle, and I just like to see good things in people. Basically,
them.
Okay. Basically, I just appreciate them, see good thing in them, and that's it. So, but thank you anyway for differentiating between womanizing and flirting. All right. And at the same time, I also wanted to ask you, are you living in the Yoruba dominated area of UK?
No, I'm not.
In London? Because
No,
in London, just like here in the US now, even here in Texas, if you go to Houston, you have more Yorubas in Houston than any other tribe. And if you go to Dallas, you have a lot of Igbo people in Dallas than any other tribe. So I don't know, maybe it is like that in London too.
Yeah, we have the same thing. There's certain areas like Peckham, Stockwell, all those areas, they're full of Nigerians. Yes.
Is Peckham not the rough area? I saw some video online. They say Peckham, that place is kind of rough.
There are areas that are rough, but it's being gentrified. So, you know, they're moving the black people out, moving the house prices up, and it's getting a revamp. But that's where a lot of Nigerians are. A lot of Nigerians.
But why would they move the black people out?
Of course, because they need the white people to buy houses there. So they need to move you ghetto people out. Unfortunately, that's what they're doing. So yeah, a lot of those areas, Brixton, Peckham, you know, Stockwell, the house prices have increased. They're moving a lot of the white people. A lot of trendy businesses are popping up there, and you know, it's becoming a lucrative area. But there's still some pockets. But that's where a lot of Nigerians are, in like South London, South London, Southeast London,
South London,
Southeast London, East London. Yeah.
Okay, where is Chelsea located?
That's where I live. That's the posh area.
Chelsea Football Club.
That's the posh area. Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
Because seriously, that is the only area I wanted to visit in London. I still want to go and watch a Chelsea Football Club match live.
When you're ready, come and visit.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Like I was saying earlier, at the moment I'm able to push this guy to college, I'm gone. Telling you.
We're ready to receive you. That's my old area, Chelsea and Westminster. So
as soon as I can get this girl to college, and she's not gonna be getting me, following me up and down, like say I owe her something from
Uncle Ben. You're the one following her up and down. Free my baby girl.
No, she's the one that is following me up and down. You never know what that girl is doing. No. She's just somehow attached to me that it's difficult to let her go at times, and it's difficult to let me go have my own fun. She's just like, daddy. So as soon as I can sort her out, boom, I still have to see that Chelsea Football Club match with my naked eyes. So there is one video that sisters were sharing in our backstage earlier. I will review all those videos tomorrow. I don't want trouble, so I won't really go deep into it, but I will review that video tomorrow. I have not listened to it, but when I was preparing for this show, that's when they dropped the video. And I think Sister Yinka was actually dragging my butts, me and my brotherhood, that we are not speaking on that video. So I haven't watched it. I will try to watch it and see what is it, but tomorrow we'll review it. But for those who may be wondering what we are talking about today, this is the woman at the table today, this lady. This is the lady that listed everything she wanted in a man and started the conversation. But I will leave it. I will save it for another day. A great sense of humor can stay on beat while dancing. Have you? Make I not go there. No. I won't sleep. Sisi, we're gonna have this conversation right now. I need my peace, but I'm double saving this video. We will go over it together. And because since we cannot conclude on it, we will go over it, and we are going to have a poll. People will actually vote on what they think. Because why would a woman say, as part of requirement, the man must be able to dance and stick to beat? Has she married Oyibo that are dancing out of beat before? Well, conversation for another day. Thank you for co-hosting with me, Sisi. Thank you, Sister Grace. Thank you, my honey baby. And thank you, Mr. Dio. And Sisi, please, if you admire my guy, this guy, say you admire, stop calling him poster boy for Yoruba Demo.
I said some people would say he's the poster boy, not me.
make those people stop. They should stop the crap.
If there's a post, if there's an idea of a Yoruba demon, what would he look like? It will be this guy.
This guy has not done anything.
Uncle Ben, they wouldn't say somebody like you is a Yoruba demon.
Why?
You with that information, what you will. Good night.
Sissy, I am the one they are supposed to be describing as Yoruba demon because of my coconut head. Yes, Sissy. All right, my Sissy mama, thank you very much. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for hanging out with me. If you missed this show, please go back and watch from the onset. Today we reviewed the video of Senator Natasha, her interview with Adeola Fayeun, and we are just trying to extract the lessons. One of the key lessons we extract today is that please don't share your information with strangers. Always do your background check. Make sure you know who they are before you share with them. And secondly, once somebody is talking to you and they mention contract, Biko, run. Especially from WhatsApp, from ordinary conversation, the whole conversation now is beginning to tend towards, okay, if you give me a contract, if you can sign, stop that conversation immediately so that they don't use it against you later. And from what we've gathered so far, the poll we got going on the poll, let me see. I asked the question, do you believe Senator Natasha's side of the story? 31 people took the poll, and 90% of the people who answered said yes, they believe Senator Natasha, and just 10% said no. Whatever is the reason the 10% said no, I don't know. But what we know is that Senator Natasha explained herself, and she at least show us or describe some of the things that are hidden from us. Go back to Adeola Fayeun page. Go and watch the interview again. I think it's about 2 hours, 18 minutes or something. Go and watch it again. But we'll continue tomorrow, and then we will start looking at what may possibly be the end of this case. If Natasha can still win this case, or if the case will go in favor of Senator Apabio. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I see you tomorrow. God bless you. And please don't do what I will not do. Okay? Don't argue with women. Okay? I'll see you tomorrow. God bless you.